In the summer of town. I'll never be royal. It's someone like that. The kind of extras ain't for us. We crave a different calibers. Let me be your ruler. You can call me Queen Bee, baby, I'll let me live that fantasy. I've never seen a diamond in the flesh. I count my teeth on wedding rings in movies, and I'm not proud of my address. In the corner of town, no postcode envy, but every song's like gold teeth, gray goose tripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, stressing in the hotel, we don't care. I'll never be royal. It's something like that.
What's up, everybody?
Woo. That was an interesting start now, wasn't it?
I'm glad that you all have been summoned here with the cows. What's up, y'all? We got Sama, Sarah, Leo, Satcha, Leo again. No Fat Mondi, what's up? Oh my gosh. Catacorn Mermaid, Lynn. Did I say Sarah? Hello, Sarah. Lynn the Cinnabon. Vintage Camera Girl. I think I just repeated everybody again. Amy, Kayla. Vintage stuff. Different Idiom Daily.
Skeeter was in at the start. He said he'll be able to make this one. So he should be along at some point. How you all doing, guys? We got fresh, tasty, nutritious milk for you all.
And Fedora, how could I miss you? Hello. And Raven.
Fedora.
Yeah, we got some brand new people. New for me as well. Death's been on the hunt lately.
Well, you know, I like to keep things fresh for us all, and things have definitely been going a little bit funky
Sour
around
over here.
Yeah, exactly. So
we need new milk. New milk.
Yeah. New people to mock.
So fun story about lolcows, I guess. When I was telling one of my friends about this place, I asked him if he knew what a lolcow was, and so he Googles it because he didn't. And he, after Googling it, tells me that I bully people. So, just fun story.
Damn right I did, Lynn. Damn right. My eyes are everywhere.
What you up to, Lynn? What's your fuck shit?
Lynn's
We're all
like
on some fuck
me.
shit
Like,
in some space.
you'll find Lynn in places you wouldn't expect her as well. So
Fresh lactose, yes. Current milk is beyond spoiled. It
yeah,
died before Clara's birth, which is a long time
cottage
ago.
cheese at this point.
I love the cow on the main one. He's looking into your soul.
He's
She tried to
fucking seen
expose
what's
you.
gone
It's
on
okay.
recently. He's
She
like,
exposed me
fucking
too.
hell, what you dragging me into this shit?
Oh, what up, Skeeter?
Yeah,
Hey,
ski. Woo,
we're
woo.
here looking at some people that y'all might not know. You might
It's
know
been a
them.
crazy week for you, or you mean a crazy week on these fucking greasy streets on YouTube? Because a bit of both, huh? Yeah, right.
You
Right,
exposed
so
yourself. That's funny. Alex Glitter likes to quote me and then like post screenshots of me not saying the quotes. It's really great.
yeah. I don't know why they seem to do it to you more than me. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know why that is. Like, even how AK was out there blaming you for things that I've done, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I get blamed for everyone's shit. That's been a thing. I used
It's
to get
like,
blamed for
like
AK stuff. Now I'm getting blamed
Little
by
Bits
AK
made a
for
video
everyone
on
else's
me.
stuff.
And I'm like,
Fuck this shit.
bitch, you didn't even make that video. I made that video. You're going to blame someone, blame me.
Oh well. It's crazy. I've never had a more dedicated ex friend or ex anything, to be honest.
She did
Most
go
people,
more nuts.
let you walk away.
She did go far more nuts, though. When me and you paired up together, it was like the ultimate, like,
I
scorned
know.
fucking move or something. Like, yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, blame fat boots. What's up, Gigi? It's all my fault. I get blamed for everything.
All right, then.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
I got you.
You
Yeah.
guys make me feel more
Totally,
important than I am.
GG.
I appreciate that.
Gigi's just trying to get it from like all roads lead to Gigi to blame fat bitches. So I've I got a little bit of tea to spill. Kinda, sorta. Kinda, sorta. So this whole situation with Kaya obviously is everybody knows what's gone on there, and it's been a disgusting thing. But one of her ex mods has been messaging me and has told me some stuff as well. Um, in regards to, first of all, there's a timestamp on that video where Kaya's caught shadowing over the top of that guy, and you see her walk towards him and whisper as she's coaching him throughout the thing. And that was from the first interview. Even she was doing that shit, not the second like read out one, where he was asked how long you've been doing this for, and he gave a different answer, but she'd already leaned over to him and the shadow, and he turns and looks to her, and she whispers the answer to him. I got the timestamp on that, but also this guy, the person that used to talk to Kaya in DMs very frequently, was not just the mod, but like also quite friendly with them. They stepped away quite a while ago, fortunately for them, so they're not, as closely affiliated with all this shit as they could be. but they're ultimately disgusted by it. And not only have they found that timestamp on the whole situation, but they said that Kaya discussed with them this whole situation in DMs. But they didn't realize what she was alluding to, because she kept saying about there's all this stuff that might come out, and she was always worried and didn't know how to address it, and talking back and forth with them. And they assumed that it was all to do with like her stripper stuff. They had no idea that it had anything to do with this stuff, and especially including minors and whatnot. So I can read that out. Hold on.
Yeah, so she like let on that there was, like past, and like issues and stuff, and people just assumed it was more of what they had been told. But could you even imagine that it was something like that? Like I wouldn't have. It's nuts.
No. And I think this is what's made them shocked, even though they stepped away or whatnot, and they spoke to them regularly in DMs. And so there was obviously there was something that was bugging her, or she knew that it may come out or something, because was alluding it to them. And this person says that there's no coming back from this at all. But he had no idea it included minors at all. And they spoke very briefly about all this, and that was like before the end of 2022, and was telling them that people won't understand this because and used the term lifestyle even back then, and because this was the lifestyle that they were leading, as she was telling them, and they had no idea it was pimping out minors at all until just now. And then they go on to say, Life of an Evil Spirit dropped it in one of their videos, and they screenshot it and texted it to her and said that the name thing in her videos is not what it seems. She said she was going to address it on a video one time, and the link was sent to me, but I didn't have the actual pandering charges listed. So I'm like shocked face when I saw it. So apparently something of this almost seeped out once beforehand, and there were some receipts that were dropped, but they were only like half receipts, and something to do with Callie being involved with it, because he puts Life of an Evil Spirit, dropped it in one of their videos, and they screenshot it and text it to her. So I don't know if that's like referring to the mugshot or something. There was some evidence or some receipt that was dropped, but when he saw it, it didn't have the charges listed on it, so it'd already been edited down. So when Kaya showed it to him, he didn't see all of that like was listed. It'd been cropped out.
What a mess. So also, she should have kind of known this was coming. And, I can't believe that they didn't have a better, freaking lines. Basically, like, it blows my mind.
And then it goes on to say, and I didn't know this, right? Now, everybody knows Karate Joe was Foodie Beauty's mod, right? And like gross stuff come out about them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, they say that there was the reason why they dipped out of Kaya's community and haven't been around for quite a while is because when all that Karate Joe stuff came out, Kaya did a video, right, that's now gone from her channel, but basically it wasn't a favourable one. And he says that he knows that there was no way that he could back her up on this. And after that, I told her it was over and I'm out. And she texted me asking if I was busy, but what could I say? I didn't respond. How can I give her a shoulder to cry on when I know what he did was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems that Kaya, I don't know if somebody's got access to it, if someone fucking recorded that. I don't know. But apparently she did something on her channel, not necessarily like outright, calling Karate Joe. in a negative way, maybe a supportive way. I don't even fucking know. Because it seems strange that it was deleted from her channel, and that's why Eric was like, I couldn't support that, and that's why I backed out. Seems
Yeah,
weird.
Sasha, if she goes live and talks about foodie, I'll be there to A-log. I think she might have a lot of people in that first live back.
And then
I think she might try, and I think she should not.
And then goes on to say, in her eyes, they weren't victims. They were just young ladies, in quotation marks, that chose that lifestyle. And I disagree, because teenagers are kids, and you don't pick up kids and sell them for sex, period. And they were being panded off to adults, and these people drug them up to even kill them too at the times. And a lot of the time take advantage of the situation, and they can't get out of it. And I know they weren't just 17 to 18-year-olds. They could have been younger. I don't expect her to leave him, and of course that's her decision. But even if they were if we were neighbours, I would distance myself fast from this situation. I can't be around someone that did that. So they've distanced, and like apparently they've messaged them since even. It's like a shoulder to cry on.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I'll go back to Skeeter's question. So he has like past charges. They've been together, what, 12 years?
Wow, this is no way. So this timestamp on the original video, no. So that's the discrepancy is on the time, right? So when this is what this mod person's found on that original thing, when being questioned about how long you've been together and how long ago did this happen, that's when she leaned in. He turns and looks at her off camera, and you can see that she stood there because literally her shadow comes closer towards him and whispers something to him, and he turns back and answers 12 years.
So thinking it's longer. Damn, I would believe it. I mean, I've heard crazier shit recently, you know? It's crazy.
Right?
I don't like, this is the kind of thing, like, this is the problem with our damn society. Like, we excuse too much of this kind of fuck shit. Some people don't deserve a second chance if they don't think they did anything wrong. You know what I mean? 5 years taught you nothing. That's something.
That wasn't the fresh milk. That was just some fresh tea.
A little bit.
Yes,
That was some
if you want to
tea.
call it that, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that I just thought I'd update you on that. Yeah.
Sorry for the downer. Let's go on to some cows.
We're going to move on to. Should we start with one of the shorter ones first?
Yeah.
All right. Let me bring this up.
We got 3 different people to kind of dip into today to see who we might like.
No, don't do that.
I don't know any of their names. Death told me, but I already forgot.
This one we'll start off with Tiona J.
Tiona, is that what it is?
Tiona
or Tiona?
Tiona, I think. I don't know. Whatever. Something.
I can't tell what's accent and what's not. For real, Skeeter. For fucking real. Most of our systems that we've built in this country are a damn joke, to be honest. But that one is a pretty bad one. For sure. Oh my gosh, you guys type so fast and I click things. Teal. Sarah knows them already. Love it. I love when, like, I think I've told you guys this before, but I love when different people come together and they share their information and everyone like learns together. It's so fun.
We can use that down.
Group therapy powwow. Learning sesh.
There we go.
What's up? Just me, everything, and Bruce coming in. Did you guys see? Where did I see? I think it was an Olaf's video. If you guys haven't seen Olaf's video about DC, go watch it. But there's a whole segment with just her boobs.
Yeah, I linked it on our community tab. So if you look for it, it's on our community tab. I linked it the other day.
It's a masterpiece. Now that is art.
We've got to grow a second channel. So I told everyone to go sub her up. All right, can you see that? Is it sharing okay?
You stop it, Sarah. I'm gullible.
Can you concentrate?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Sorry.
All right, so this is called We Need to Talk About Tiona J.
But y'all not gonna come on my page and say whatever y'all want to me. I don't need no haters. Y'all can move right on along. I'm not asking for y'all to stay here. My true supporters, they'll stay here and they'll watch. And I know a lot of y'all haters is gonna sit here and watch as well.
They use girls too. It's a thing. Interesting.
A following by creating content around her journey of being a homeless single mother.
Last night was our first night sleeping in the shelter. They didn't have any bedrooms for us, so we had to sleep in their kitchen.
Before becoming homeless, she lived with her mom in what she called a toxic environment.
I'm not coming up here for sympathy. I'm not coming up here, just spill my business and stuff like that. I called 211, and that's basically like a resource service to be able to try to get help. Can't keep living the same way. Like, this has been going on for way too long.
That living situation eventually led to her being arrested for physically assaulting her mom. This is one of the many times she has spoken about their rocky relationship.
All I remember was my mom saying something to me, and then I responded. She eventually got in my face. She nudged me. That instinct, all I could think back was to when I was pregnant with my son. We had got into it, and I was pregnant with my son. Like, put her hands on me. This particular time, I blacked out, and I fought back. When the police were called on me, told them that I had hit her with a closed fist. We're tussling for like a good maybe 5 minutes because I ended up using a closed fist and bloodshed. I was considered the aggressor.
The worst part of this altercation, in my opinion, is that her son was present and watched the whole thing play out.
It happened right in front of my son. He was, I believe, a year old at the time. When it happened, I didn't even think like grab my son. I just left. Once I calmed myself down, like I remembered, like I'm like, oh my God, like my son. I just couldn't believe this was real life for me. You know you a criminal. Like, you know you done some damage when they say you got to stand here and take a mugshot.
Tiona recently came out of homelessness with the help of her online supporters. She raised over $5,000 through GoFundMe and had tons of gifts from her Amazon wish list sent to her multiple times.
I'm about to do this unboxing, so here's all the boxes right here. Oh my goodness. The Nintendo Switch Light K Picasso tiles. Oh, it's heavy. RC, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but Sonic game. Air fryer, y'all. This is stuff that people sent us from TikTok. I think this is the thing I have wanted in the bathroom.
After receiving so much support, many have noticed that she is less humble and kind towards her audience now. This is shown regularly on her TikTok, where she consistently gets upset with her viewers that disagree with or question her behavior. She is often called a scammer after receiving so much financial support and then posting expensive hauls and shopping sprees.
So
I'm always interested about that. The moment, the turning point, if you want to call it, where people, like, their egos get out of whack, so to speak. And they stop becoming humble, grateful, feeling supported to, like, entitled. I've always been curious of that, and how susceptible people are to it as well. Because I like to think of myself as a fairly level-headed person, right? And that this sort of stuff wouldn't all to me, you know what I mean? Regardless of what wealth, what status, things of that ilk. Yeah,
I do
so
think it has a lot to do with people that aren't used to having a lot of money, and sometimes that internet, fame can kind of get you that pretty quick,
yeah,
and
because
even if it's,
but I've seen it
you
happen to
know,
people that didn't come from humble beginnings as well. I've seen it happen to people that like had great jobs and gave up their great jobs, and because their
Mm.
YouTube career took off and they become big YouTubers and things, and it
That's
still has
true.
an effect on them. It still has a huge effect on their ego and their
Well, part
entitlement,
of it, I
and
think, is
also the
that.
way that they connect with their audience. Everything shifts.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into play with it, like how they develop, personal relationships and shit too, you know? Like it's that relationship with their audience, because that's part of the turn too.
Yeah, well, that's not a
I don't know.
personal relationship, or it shouldn't be anyway.
Yeah,
And
just the I don't
if
know.
it's created off of a parasocial relationship in the first place, you got to be careful. Start off as you mean to go on, right? So don't have that dynamic with your audience in the first place, and then it can't ever go awry. I guess that's the safest thing to do, because people will feel, like their noses are pushed out of joint somewhat, or if they don't get the right amount of attention or enough attention. Maybe if you was once giving them ample attention, let's say, because you had a smaller audience at one point, and now it's grown out of a proportion, and you can't actually give that one-to-one of attention anymore. So yeah, slight
Yeah.
things like that can happen, sure, but if you've not actually structured your audience, or to allow your community to think that there is a personal relationship in the first place, then that won't bite you in the arse. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
But I still think the whole ego, the entitlement, this thing, whether you're a small, humble, beginning, person, or whether you're okay and you didn't even need a YouTube career, whatever. Yeah, I think it does have an effect on a lot of people. I think very few, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people in the comments real salty about me spending my money how I want to spend my money. I'm confused. What's going on? I never once asked for anybody to do anything for me. Anything that anybody has ever done for me was because they did it out of the kindness of their heart, because they wanted to. How you mad because I'm spending my money my way? Ain't nobody helped me get here but me and my God. Nobody else helped me get here. I always been a hustler. Even when I was homeless, I was hustling, getting money. That's what they fail to realize. That's what people fail to realize. I was always a hustler. I was always getting to that bag.
One of Tiona's latest controversies involves her son's father, who recently started being more involved in their child's life. After making some serious claims about her ex, viewers were concerned about her son's well-being while in the care of his father.
This man does not pay child support. He won't go get a job to make sure that his son is straight. He lives at home. He's 27 years old, still lives at home with his mother. His mother is a crackhead. Whoever said that was bad? Whoever said selling drugs was bad? They made that a thing. Listen, he don't know who he sells to. My baby daddy does not gangbang. He's not into that type of stuff. You don't know who he sells to. He could be selling to freaking senior citizens for all you know. Not everybody has to look over their shoulder,
That doesn't
when it
make it
comes
better.
to, doing that type of stuff. My son is covered and he's fine. Covered in the blood at that. My mother did it when I was little. I'm still here, 26 years old. My baby daddy ain't stupid. Like I said, he don't want to pay child support, so he'll do shit like that so he don't have to pay.
Her viewers did not react the way Tiona expected, and that upset her. She went live the next day to complain that people had messaged her ex.
Y'all was in his DMs, why are y'all doing that? I didn't ask nobody to go and speak for me. I know how to communicate with my baby daddy. And I know half of y'all up here that's in here and watching probably oh, that's weird, but it's probably the ones that's doing it. I'm not stupid nor slow. It's giving obsessed. It's giving you're a fan. It's giving you want to be a part of my life. It's giving you want to be you want to be relevant.
Instead of
Called him a
addressing
drug
the
dealer.
problem. Tiona became very
Very
defensive
openly.
and turned the blame to her audience.
Oh, you tell all your business, but I wouldn't be telling my business if y'all wasn't sitting here asking. So stop asking me. And y'all get upset when I don't respond. Like, pick a side and stay there. I'm not listening to none of y'all talking about something you shouldn't bring your problems to the internet. People need to learn how to stay in their lanes and stop getting in the middle of other people's business. It's social media. It ain't go be Inspector Gadget. Y'all want to be detectives and cops so bad.
I don't even know what that means. Go be
Because y'all obsessed. Y'all are weird. When y'all see me reserved and not talking about certain stuff anymore, then now y'all know why.
Some of Tiona's followers now question her genuineness and honesty. Many question what all of the donations were really going towards, but are just met with hostility and the block button.
Stop playing with me. They finna block you. I done blocked them off alive before, so now they come with their little posse. I'm gonna say what I have to say, and then I'm just gonna leave it at that, or I start deleting comments. That's why half of the time y'all don't see me in my comment section commenting or responding, because I don't like seeing negative feedback.
That's
It
where
really
it
pisses me off.
it.
turns.
And then you
What
have
do you
it.
guys think about this situation? Leave a comment below to let me know. And don't forget to subscribe.
There's so many people in the in my comment section being so negative and want me to that's preying on my downfall. I will not fail. I promise you that I will not fail. You can go on and make videos. Y'all can write underneath my post. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. Do that. But you're not stopping nothing over here. Baby, I'm gonna come up whether you're here or not. Don't forget to stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.
Damn.
Right?
That's
So-
like, I just,
This is the thing. So the success thing, right? I'm going to get success no matter what. I'm going to have my come up no matter what. And you bet it, you know, all that shit, right? Who got you in that position? Who got you up on your knees that you're even in a position where you can go get your fucking nails done and all of that?
yeah, when they start denying or like stop listening to any type of criticism at all or any type of feedback at all, that's when you know. That's when it starts to really, that divide happens. She's not in her comments anymore by her own admittance. That's how it happens.
And not just that, not just block, and refuses to hear any criticism, but also you're biting the hand that feeds you. The one that fucking got you up off your knees to where you can now wear fresh, clean clothes. Your child isn't going without. Your bellies are full. You've got money for luxuries, like to go to the fucking beauty parlor, even whatever. You know, it's like, how did you get into that position from the hand that you're now biting? And that's the level of gratitude. And this is why I say it's strange to me when it shifts from gratitude to entitlement.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if maybe it's always just entitlement and they're good at masking it at first.
I think all human beings to some degree feel like, oh, I deserve a bigger slice of the pie than so-and-so over there. They don't deserve as much as me or whatnot. You know, people do that. And people are selfish fuckers, right? You know, and the thing is, it's within yourself to stay humble. It's within yourself to be grateful for what you have in front of you, not what you think you deserve. I don't know. Yeah, it's just seems to be all too often that this happens now. And you see people, like, they all start off, you know, in a certain way, and their egos get way out of fucking whack. So there's talk of this other person, and her name is Peach McIntyre, and they reckon that this there's a where it feeds into this story is because this Tiona J may have been watching Peach McIntyre and basically taking a leaf out of her book, you know?
Okay. Like kind of copying the grift.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So we've got a couple of things with Peach. We've got, and these are fairly short, so there's a
I
few of
hate
them.
to say it, like people see what works, you know.
Right. You know, they go
Yeah.
out there and see the format and reel it out. And then once it's working and they're off to a certain position, they then think they can be entitled cunts about it, right? Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, learn how the game's played and then make it work for you, you know, manipulate, and then like, yeah, your true colours come out. But that's also your downfall, let's be honest. You know, as quick as you come up as quick as you can go down. It's not the best approach, really. Many people have gone to the wayside. Nobody's that special, you know? Nobody's irreplaceable.
I agree, Kelly. She says if people are stupid enough to give money to these cows, they deserve to lose it. Yeah. It's people's choice, you know. You give where you want to give, but there's a lot of these characters out there that aren't appreciative.
So with Peach McIntyre, we've got a couple to choose from. We've got Peach yet again giving bad advice. Every day with Wood, Peach's McIntyre. He goes with the drama. I'm teaching a class on Peach, which might be a good one to start off with. And then
I
there's
kind
this.
of like that first one, the bad advice. See what she has to say.
But yeah, but that might launch you into. I think that's why this one would probably be better, because otherwise you're just going to be watching like her shitty behaviour about. Whereas this one gives you a little bit more lead into her. Do you know what I mean? And then we can snip
Okay.
onto one of the other ones. Let me get to the meat of this. We don't want to watch all the intro.
I don't know. I like seeing the behavior without any input first.
All right then. All right. I'll do that for you. All right.
Let's see what her advice is. We can judge it.
So as you can see, this was her house. Look.
Oh, we don't see. At least I don't. I don't see it, Death. Death. Death, we can't see it.
All those kids in that house, when you think about the state of it, to get into that shit.
You can't hear me, but we can't see it.
Oh, hold on.
So we can't see it or hear it, but she hears it really loud.
Oh, fuck. There we
to,
go.
like, yell.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
I can't hear over the things
we
that's
need
playing
a code
really loud.
word.
Hold on. Let's try this again then.
I'll just scream louder. I'm sorry. I'm not really an outspoken kind of person. So
Yeah, you need to. Especially if the thing's playing loud. And it's really quiet as well. This is the thing. I had to turn it up.
I
was like,
know.
oh.
I feel like I was yelling. We should
Right.
get, I wonder how they work overseas, but those like lamps that you can like touch and they'll like light up.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, we do need something like that.
That'd actually be kind of funny. I wonder how good they work.
That would make me laugh.
read
We'd
some
do it to
reviews.
each other at random times, we would. All right, so we're starting off with the state of this fucking house, and she's got a whole load of kids that have been living in this fucking mess.
Oh, look at that mess. Oh no.
Look at it.
Oh no.
And this is like halfway through cleaning up, clearly. Like, look, it's already
With
been
just
started.
a broom. Oh my god.
Look at that.
can't
There's like
pick any
some
of that
weird
up first?
fucking brown juice stain there. Look at that. Like it's a whole like 50 Shades Darker right there.
Is she sweeping carpet? Questions I have.
I think that's a dustpan.
Yeah. And is she on carpet?
Yeah, that looks like some sort of beige carpet. Yeah.
What the fuck?
But look, like
I never swept carpet,
like,
to be
she moved
honest.
like the armchair out like there. So this bit of clean carpet is only because this armchair has been pushed to the side to get to this shit. And there's some sort of juice there. It's so dark brown there as well, like where the spots where you could walk or something that are dark.
Day in the life, hashtag mom life. Oh no. Oh no.
And the terrible shame is that there was kids living in this.
Oh, I wouldn't even let my cats live in that. Oh.
I know, right? Look, watch this.
They were swiping them down and then stomping them. It was crazy.
15 passenger, this is G5, no, this not a challenger.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video.
Oh, they have to wear
Today
gloves.
we are talking about a channel called Sky's World.
Like
the reason we are primarily talking about her is because she is a student of Peach McIntyre, somebody that we mention a lot here on the channel. Scott put up a video, I think 2 days ago, and I'm showing a clip here from her video, and all I can say, honey, is it was them using the broom to swipe down and stomp roaches for me. Like, there was too much going on for me. The saddest thing about it was seeing those kids do that and seeing that little girl smack at her hair, swiping her hair. Because, honey, she thought it was some bugs in her damn head. No child should have to live like that. No child should be put in that position.
Look, to get to that shit.
And I know people come from all walks of life. People have all type of situations, but y'all, come on. We got to do better. We definitely have to do better when it comes to situations like that. That was piss poor and sad. And you may be asking, well, what does that have to do with Peach? Well, she's one of the young ladies who Peach has told to be honest, open, and upfront about what's going on in her life, good and bad, and
this
so
is
that
another
she can use it for a
Peach McIntyre's
moment of views, basically. Use it to get views. Everything don't need to be
sweeping carpet,
especially when you put your children in a position that it can be assumed that they're being neglected and that you cannot maintain a healthy household for them. Roaches actually can affect your breathing
like that as well, and
other things because they are nasty. They eat the likes of any freaking thing. They move dirt from one place to another. Like, it's a lot of negativity with roaches other than the fact that you have them and other implications that can be made because you have them. So you definitely have to be careful at what you're doing. The fact that this little girl does not see her situation as embarrassing is beyond me. Not only because it's embarrassing, but because of the fact...
Well, yeah, they're all so fucking conditioned to it. All of them. I mean, look, one of them's like a teenage girl. She looks like she's wearing a fucking dress that's suited for the little girl, actually. She doesn't look like she's got a dress that fits her properly. It looks like that's 2 years or 3 years fucking too small for her, that dress. She has probably suffered more than the rest of them for the longest, been from house to house, seen nothing but this fucking way of life. She's probably shocked that her mother's actually fucking doing this cleaning, and it's only because the video camera's recording it, because she's decided to make a YouTube channel and now make some sort of content out of actually cleaning up. You know, and this is the first time, they're probably all like, why are you doing this, Mum? oh, we're going to make a video and we're going to make content and make everyone, and they're going to give us money for making everything better. And
I want to know what they've been batting down with these brooms up there that we can't see, that everyone's looking
fucking
at.
like
Like,
it
what's up
cobwebs,
there?
as you can imagine.
What
Nothing's
is up
been washed
there?
down.
Whoa. Oh no. Yeah, like it's like at least they're cleaning it, but like why would you show this? Why would you like admit that this was the state
But
of
that
the home?
tells you
Like,
that they're only doing
ugh.
it for because it is being watched. If they weren't being watched, then they would continue living like this. Do you understand? The fact is that it's being promoted. How many years has that girl fucking lived in place to place before her mother had a YouTube channel, before there was any reason to clean up? Do you see what I'm saying now?
Yeah.
It's
What
fucking
up, soft
disgusting.
reset? What up, Christine? Saw you earlier.
And maybe it's
And
because
Jesse.
it's been seen on fucking camera and people were like, we're going to fucking report you to, you know, Child Protective Services or some shit. Or maybe they have been called already. Maybe that's why they are doing the big cleanup now. Who fucking knows?
Dang. Ugh. It's just
appalling that
like
it takes for the fact that the mother's got to have a YouTube channel for this to even take place. Do you see my point?
Yeah. I don't even know how home gets like that. Like, yeah, a lot of kids, but you don't teach them to clean up after themselves. Like, how does it get like this?
And my thing is this:
Just blows my
always
mind.
don't be scared of what people fucking show you. Always be scared of what they don't fucking show you.
Yeah, if this is what they show,
right? You see, it's like grim.
I'm gonna mention again what's up there that we don't see, that they're batting with a broom.
Fucking giant ass fucking spiders.
It's probably a bat.
That you have children that are school age, and those kids can be looked at and treated any kind of doggone way. I think this is sad, and this is another example of bad advice that Peach McIntyre is giving these folks. All these people are looking at her situation. They not Peach, and Peach is not telling them you can't do me and get what I get. This is my life. She is a person who grew her channel during the pandemic. A lot of these young ladies on here grew their channel during the pandemic, and the rules that we have, those of us who came behind the pandemic, don't apply. Now, Sky, she was there before the pandemic, true enough, but she wasn't making an impact. They said she's been on this platform 4 or 5 years. She just hit 8,000. I'm at 6,000, and I started last year. Now, that don't mean nothing.
She's been on this platform for 5 fucking years. Living in that state with all those kids.
They killed a lot of cockroaches already.
No, but like I'm saying, like what her fucking community or what the people that have been watching this shit is like, just let this fucking go on for 5 years and watching kids live in squalor up until now.
I mean, look how hard it was with the Shani and Rev situation. I mean, this though, I don't know much about that situation. Shani was really hard for me to watch. I just couldn't. I still can't. Is this worse or what? Or is it similar? Worse because there's more kids, yeah.
Who knows? Because she's already said that they've moved from places to places. So who knows how bad the other places
they
got,
let it
what
get,
squalor they were in. Who fucking knows?
I don't have a TLDR for you, soft reset. We're jumping in right now. Welcome.
This place, like, it doesn't look like it's that long been decorated, like maybe rented out a couple of years ago, maybe top whack. So maybe they haven't had enough time to get this into true squalor yet.
True, yeah. Like you said, they moved around a lot if they're jumping that quickly. Oh my God. You filmed yourself with cockroach. Like, what is it?
The fact that, like, she's got to be fucking on camera. Look. Oh, film me whilst I clean. I'm a good mom. No, you're fucking not, bitch. What? The fact that you got to be filmed? The fact that it's taken fucking over how many years for you to even pick up a fucking broom? Your fat ass? And your kids are fucking stood there with clothes that are fucking far too small for them and shit.
Nothing other than the fact that I worked hard. I put out content, and I listened to the one person who's going to tell me the absolute truth about what I need to do, and that's my analytics. And until Peach started teaching that, she will never create a success story. That's why ain't nobody checking for her the way that they should be. And she is trying to get the low hanging fruit to listen to her and be in her classes, and because she leads them to believe you can get this, that, or the third if you do what I say, and they believe her. And I mean, what can I say?
So is this what Next is going to do with these webinars?
Oh God. Why are they all the same? What is you guys? What the it's the same ego trip. It's literally the same ego trip. What? These people, man.
You just see there Next like coaching other people. What you need to do is you need to get some DVDs.
Oh my God. Hit up some garage sales. Start an eBay business. Become a producer.
Everyone, yeah, they all want to be the manager now.
No, I'm the manager now.
Manager.
That advice will be $40.
Yeah, I retired that shit. I retired that, you know. Fucking hell. So yeah, we
Oh, gross, Jesse. I don't even
so
want to
that's
think
Peach
about
McIntyre there. That one on screen. That's the one that's the big hoo-ha that's got all these other little scrubs underneath her now, and she's like, oh, I'll tell you how to hustle on YouTube.
That's why I use the term low hanging fruit. People who don't put effort in, they just look at the fact that she has a video where she pulled $10,000-$20,000 out of an account and went crazy. And I mean, it was compelling. It was something to watch. One thing Peach McIntyre can do is create an entertaining video, and that's what she did. Guys, tell me what y'all think about this. What do you think about the clips that I showed you and the fact of Peach basically teaching these folks that, hey, it don't matter what kind of content you have, just put it out there and let people talk.
I think it's fucking disgusting. That's what I think.
Yeah, agreed. It is. I am so blown away by the fact that they would film it. So blown away by the fact that it exists as it is in the first place. And I still can't get over the fact that she's still sweeping carpet. There's no vacuum cleaner. Like, go get one from Target for like $70.
It's taken convincing that if she can earn some money and do a hustle on YouTube, she can have a YouTube channel and film this shit and grift. And everyone can feel sorry for her and her kids and her situation, one that's self-created, because you can't bother to fucking clean house and spend the money that you get from the government on the right things like clothes for your kids that fit, rather than bottles of fucking red hair dye.
And she's got enough hands to help. Like,
I mean, like, that's just me as a mum. Before I fucking like took care of my own fucking roots, I'd make sure that my kid had a fucking dress that would fit her. Just put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely wouldn't be fucking living in squalor, because fucking hot fucking water and soap doesn't cost that much to fucking keep a clean house.
Oh, Jesse, I don't even want to think about it, because she wasn't even vacuuming. She's sweeping carpet, right?
I've seen poor people.
The carpet still.
I've seen poor people keep clean houses. I've seen some poor people be more prideful of their houses than people that like have got fucking loads of money, let's say.
I watched this girl live out of her car for over a year, and she kept it very clean. with a
people
dog.
that would scrub their doorsteps clean, all kinds of things, right? It's not about money. Like, you can keep everything fucking clean, even if it's not
Yeah.
all fucking
Yep.
fresh, new, this, that, and the other. There's no excuse for that dirty
Yeah.
fucking household and all those kids to be living like that. And nobody deserves a pat on the back. Well done, you, because now you fucking got yourself and your kids to actually clean it because it's being witnessed by an audience. I don't know why people want praise because it's being witnessed now.
No. Should be shamed because it happened. Because it is happening. Probably. I don't actually know. But
I'm curious to be like, well, if that's what you're willing to fucking show me on camera, what's the shit that you're not willing to fucking show me then?
Exactly. What's
So
upstairs,
my
you
mind
know, in the
always
bedrooms.
fucking goes with people like that. Because
Oh,
it's like, well, you've obviously got no shame whatsoever in that sense. You know, you mustn't have. The fact is that you've allowed your kids to grow up with no fucking pride in their own like home environment, and you don't think that has a damaging effect on everyone in that household living like
no
that.
pride, no responsibility. Like,
no, not just that, but depressing. You think those kids are not fucking depressed? Like living like that? Because like I wouldn't know one kid that wouldn't be fucking like. Imagine having to get up for school and like get ready to go like sit with your classmates, and everything you touch, everything in your house is disgusting.
I was listening to a podcast. It's escaping me what I was listening to right now. If I think of it, I'll post it. But talking about how clutter like does affect your brain negatively. Having clutter around, like that's why you see, you know, like millionaires and stuff, but you don't see any of that.
But imagine actual, like I'm saying, squalor, filth.
Yes.
Imagine like not being able to put your hands on anything about something being touching, and you're like, oh, what's that on my hand? Like as a young kid, everything in the house is just disgusting. God knows what that bathroom looked like. Because if that was the state of the fucking living room.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Makes your mind fucking boggle just thinking about this shit. Should we dip into the Peach McIntyre thing?
Yeah, I want to see the advice too.
This is the mogul. Let me get past this bit. Hold on.
I mean, I grew up in the South too, but I didn't see a lot of roaches.
Doesn't matter where you grow up.
I was like 5.
Like there can be poor people that keep everything spotlessly clean. It may have paint chips. It may be a bit scratched up, but it'll be clean. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can still take pride in the little things that you do have, even if they are a bit scuffed up or whatever. There's no excuse for lack of fucking hygiene like that. There really isn't.
Yeah, Sarah said, I'll be damned if my parents weren't always on me and my siblings' butts about cleaning up after ourselves. Yeah, if I had thrown, like, there was a bunch of, like, bags. If I had tossed a bag of some, you know, say I ate a bag of chips and tossed that, my mom would have my head. Like, that shit's just on the floor. Like, it's left there. My mom always had a thing, like, they taught us, you know, like, you clean up at night. Like, when you go to bed, everything should be put away and picked up because you're going to wake up to it. And you either wake up to a mess or you wake up to not a mess. And you just pick it up.
I always taught my kiddo to do that. And even, like, in terms of, like, for the next day, like, a bit of preparation doesn't go amiss. Like, you know, you save time and... Or if something does happen that you weren't expecting, now you've got time to do something like, something broke, something snapped, a button come flying off your shirt. You've got time to replace things because you've kept everything else in order. If you keep everything, you've got also time. You can afford for mistakes as well if you prepare.
I bet your eBay selling room, Jesse, is way more organized than Nix's attic.
Yeah, I have, Jesse. Yeah, I've seen your house loads. Yeah. Jesse is like he's he's got a lovely garden. Like he grows all his own vegetables, everything, but he does all his own like pickling and jarring and all of that. You know,
nice. That's cool.
All right, we ready to get into this?
What's this one? Is this the advice teaching it?
I'm
No,
teaching a class on peach. This is this is the mogul that's like instructing all these other ones, like that Tia, like that other one we just watched. She's the head honcho that started this shit. And now is hustler classes.
Okay, this is who they were saying the other one was copying, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Hi, I'm teaching a class on peach po mindset. The fee is $180. Classes will be held 365 days a year, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Class will begin now. Peach have a po mindset when she bring her ass out here and clean the inside of that toilet with her bare hands, no gloves, no scrubbing brush, and she do this shit just for views.
We were talking about the bathroom.
Mindset. Y'all, please understand, Peach have a po mindset when she carry her newborn baby inside of her shirt like a damn fool, talking about, I'm starting a new baby trend. And she do this shit just for views. That's a po mindset. Peach have a po mindset when she bring her ass out here in public and breastfeed her child without covering up just for views. That's a po mindset. Peach have a po mindset when she make a dumbass song about wood, which I won't repeat none of that dumb shit. And she do this shit just for views. That's a po mindset.
What up, B?
Peach have a po mindset when she act as if she's throwing wood out and divorcing him. And she do this shit just for views. That's a po mindset. Class has ended. Please apply the knowledge that you have learned today, that you won't be played again. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below. I know you will.
No, I want that. And then we got the next one. So you got so what she was referring to there was Peach's partner Wood, and like doing certain things and behaviors, like having arguments, doing this, doing all different things on screen, doing outrageous things like cleaning the toilet with a bare hand.
Oh, I mean, Meg's drank out of a bidet.
This is what I'm saying. When lolcows start fucking reaching, just for any old attention, all attention becomes good attention, even the negative kind, right?
You can reach for attention without reaching in the toilet, please.
As long as they're being spoken about, they get to that point where the need to be spoken about is all the more than anything to do with their own, like, they have no level of embarrassment.
No shame. Yeah.
So we can have the Everyday with Wood one or the Peaches McIntyre Did It Again one.
Let's meet Wood.
All right.
Who? What? Such a weird nickname. I don't like it.
These are only short, these ones. And then I've got a real good one after this.
Oh boy. Is that hair real? I don't know. Someone tell me.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. So today we're talking about Peach McIntyre, the gift that keeps on spilling. Honestly, I'm more like throwing up because she just keeps throwing it out here. So last night I was on YouTube, minding my business, being nosy. And there's always conversation about her because there's always something going on. Now we know she was on vacay last week, so she was in this life is amazing type of thing. And then of course when she hit home, she wasn't posting as much, so she had to definitely find a way to crank it up. Life be life, and I'm so sad. I'm gonna go cry and pray, and then go to bed. So that was last night. Now that was after she went to her community wall telling a young lady that she was going.
She's always leaving him be, I believe. This is part of the hustle, part of the scam of it all. Is like the making out that they're broken up. Like somebody else we know just a little while ago, making out that they're having a mental breakdown, or yeah.
Do you ever feel like a microwave?
If your storyline dries up, you just start making your own drama and your own plot lines. We've all watched Chantel for long enough, Foodie Beauty, and all that shit. I saw that shit lift a long time ago, like when I was, modding over that way, and I was just like, fuck this shit, I'm out, sort of thing. It's all a big fat troll. And you see how all the storylines, all the back and forth, how all the behind the scenes stuff is done. The more you know, the more you know. And the more you know, the more you don't fucking want to know with this lot on YouTube.
I had to pay her $2,000 after just saying that she wanted $25 for community post promo that she was offering, something that she said she would never do. I Now, one thing about Peaches, she's gonna get her doggone money. I give it to her. She's gonna get her money. She gonna post up them shop with me's, and she gonna tell a damn lie. That's what she gonna do. Also, she gonna throw a person under the bus to get them views if that's what's needed. So she said she was doing $25 promo yesterday, but she told a young lady because she seen some kind of business advertised on her social media that instead of you paying me $25, you got to pay me $2,500. So of course, I'm sure the lady was like, "You can go to HE double hockey sticks. Yeah, I will keep my money and move the heck on." So that was definitely not a go. She comes today and says that she's going to be giving away $1,000 if she doesn't post 10 shorts a day and at least one long form video a day for the rest of the month. So right there, that was a teachable moment in my opinion, because those of you who paying her this money thinking that her mindset classes and these things are what's going to make you money, successful, all the things. Instead, all you got to do is just look at what she's doing. Not what she's saying, not the lies she's telling, but what she's doing. Now, the word on the street is that she took her husband out of town to meet with another woman and, put a smile on his face, have a, what they call it, the happy ending. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm definitely going to say alleged, but hey, Pete's got to get that money back. So she's gonna be throwing that doggone video content out in your face, really overbearingly killing y'all with a bunch of nothing. But she gonna get views because of the amount, even if the quality.
So she's gonna make 10 videos and shorts and whatnot. Her commitment is to do this, right? But she gets paid for it, right? Not just from YouTube or the views that she garners from that, from making her audience watch all this fucking needless shit. But she's also making people pay for a program. So she makes this shit. And the commitment is, if you don't follow these things and do these things or whatnot, and it doesn't work, she'll give you $1,000. And if she doesn't make the videos each day, or you get your money back, or whatever it fucking is.
What a mess.
What a double down grift that is. Like, I'm going to make all this content that nobody asked for. You've got to watch it all, but you've also got to pay me for the privilege of it, because I'm going to make this and make you watch it all. It's like there's some sort of fucking catch-22 there, no?
Grifters be grifting, man.
Fucking hell. And they're dumb enough to go, yeah, sign me up. What?
People are copying it.
Fucking hell. It's outrageous though, isn't it? It's like,
you think I wouldn't be amazed that people like this exist. But
that's not even the same as like doing members only content even. She's not even like, oh, making members only content and charging for like a separate thing where people got access to. She's like, I'm going to make all these videos, and if I don't keep to my thingy of making whatever 10 videos and shorts a day, then I'll give you the £1,000 back. But bitch, so you're going to make all these, make everyone watch them, and charge everyone for them, and they'll only get their money back if you say that you don't make these videos. What?
Yeah, crazy as fuck. Correct, Bruce.
Brilliant. And then, like, you know, because that wasn't enough of a grift, but then now, like, yeah, a load of other people that are also wanting to be hustlers on YouTube now can learn directly from her, and they can all get going on the same. It's like a pyramid scheme for grifters.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen here in Girl World. They see something that works and they continue the grift, because why not? People are buying what they're selling, I guess, idiots.
Fucking hell.
Quality isn't the best, the quantity will overshadow. So where she might lose views here, she may gain them somewhere else. Another thing is she either gonna talk about her mama for the rest of the month, her husband gonna be a bum for the rest of the month, or one of the babies are gonna be sick for the rest of the month. Watch what I tell you now. Now the other day the post was about her little son. He was talking to her. He had opened his eyes, both of them, because we hadn't seen that in quite some time, and it was cute because he smiled and everything. And she don't like people saying this about her baby, but he was precious. And I'm not saying that because I feel that he's not cute. I'm saying he was precious because it was a precious moment, in my opinion, period. Sometimes precious means one thing, but then sometimes it could mean another. I say he was precious because he was precious. So guys, that's what's coming. I'm just letting y'all know. Also, I'm in these streets with my ears open, eyes open as well, even though my vision is blurry right now. Because I want to know if this crap is true.
Fuck that now. Right, on to the next. You get the gist. So we just dipped our toe into like a couple, like to give you a taste of these ones as we get going. But I think I might have saved, in my opinion, the best for last.
Oh boy.
Because it started off with me watching this lolcow update thing, and they covered like a big selection of people, and it brought up this Quinton Reviews, and Quinton Reviews is being accused of some stuff, and he's like a review channel, obviously, and he hired an editor, and it's all blown up in his face with this editor, and she's now saying he didn't pay her enough money, all kinds of stuff like that. And then I found the original video where the editor, her name's Flower Gothic, she did a long video explaining the whole situation from her point of view. And the video in itself was like, oh my God, what are you? And I just like sat there like a stunned rabbit watching this thing, like, oh my God, like you're a creature, aren't you? And then I was like, well, let me go look at some of her older stuff. So I just like clicked on something that was like 2 years ago on her channel. And then I was even more engrossed because I was like, fucking hell. Like it sent me down a whole fucking rabbit hole of shit. So I'm going to start you off with the Quinton drama and how she came into it. And then we're going to like explore her.
All right.
All right. All right. Let me bring that up. Hold on. Stop.
Taste but never swallow the Kool-Aid. Don't drink Kool-Aid from strangers. How's that?
Let me mute that.
I guess they weren't strangers though. So much mess, you guys. Everywhere is so messy. Oh, it's mute.
Yeah, I know. I was just setting it up. Getting rid of the adverts before I unmuted it. You see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Controversies.
Why has he got like an empty tank behind him?
Well, actually, the past couple of years, but I digress. Surrounding Quinton Reviews and one of his former editors. Quinton is a video essay style YouTuber, not someone I'm super familiar with, but in doing research for this topic, I did notice that there was a few videos on his channel that I have actually seen in the past, and I vaguely remember liking them. Regardless, a couple weeks ago, another YouTuber named Flower Goth put out a video on
Not
her
Flower
channel
Goth, her name's
detailing
Flower
her
Gothic.
time as working for a video editor for Quinton. Specifically, she had worked on the I Binge iCarly and the End of iCarly videos, which I could assume are probably video essays detailing and breaking down the first couple of seasons of iCarly. But I can't say for sure because the average length of each of these videos is about 4 hours. I refuse to research 8 hours of content about a TV show for teenage girls made in the early 2000s. The TLDR is that Flower Gothic has lobbed some allegations at Quinton Reviews for being underpaid, overworked, and emotionally manipulated, with Quinton putting out his own video refuting her claims. So let's find out what really happened, and before you do, make sure you subscribe, because if you don't, this channel will turn into alt-right content.
Oh, God.
The accusation. Flower Gothic edited the two videos I mentioned before in 2021. Around that period, she had worked for Quinton Reviews for about a year and a half. Right off the bat, the first few seconds of her video they don't start off on a great foot for me. She begins by saying,
all right, fine. I'll make an actual video talking about my experiences with Quinton Reviews.
She's something.
Two red flags on the play immediately. One, the overacting doesn't make me feel like you're taking these allegations seriously.
We're gonna get
it just kind of doesn't fit the tone of what you're trying to do in the video. And two, I think pouring a glass of wine and drinking wine throughout the video also reinforces point number one. She makes her claim of a poor working environment, which is especially offensive to her because he considered her a friend.
I eventually realized that he never treated me as a friend, even though he called me one.
But their friendship shouldn't really...
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly say and interject here that there seems to be more than a friendship that went on. Well, on her side, it seems that she thought she was in his DMs. She'd announced that she liked him, liked him, you know. So, yeah. there's more to it. The plot thickens, so we should say.
Really have anything to do with their business relationship. So the fact that she would even bring that up just kind of makes me suspicious. She also makes the claim that she did the majority of the work on the first iCarly video and was the sole editor on the second. She then goes on this extremely long diatribe on the lore of how they became friends that led to them working together. What is that, red flag number 3? For an editor, she seems to lack the ability to edit down her own story. I'm not kidding. The first 7.5 minutes of this 18-minute video could have been completely cut out. Here, let me re-edit that 7-minute part of the video for you right here, right now. We were friends, and then he asked me if I wanted to work for him. Quinton had tweeted out that he needs to hire some editors, asking people to send in applications. He gave out like a video file and was like, here, try and edit this in my style of editing. Flower Gothic obviously applies and ends up getting the job. She goes on to complain about the fact that she had to work on her birthday to hand in this demo application.
I spent 8 hours of my May 16, 2021 editing Quinton's thoughts on the pilot, which in America is a very significant birthday, because that's when you can finally dream.
This comes off as entitled. Yes, if you want to be successful and grasp opportunities other people are too lazy to go for or just not qualified enough to go for, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices in your life. This is like being an adult 101. Red flag number 5.
Was there a contract? No. Why didn't I ask for one? This was my very first real editing gig. I was fresh to the scene, as they say.
Which I think is probably an oversight on both parts. This is, you know, her first time having like a real editing job. So, you know, she just kind of wasn't aware about how to go through with these type of things. That's a fair enough point, but you can't claim naivete on your part when this was the first time that Quinton had ever hired an editor. So it would also apply to him. She then complains about having to work 7 hours a day for Quinton while having to go to school and working on her own channel.
I was working about 7 hours a day on
chose
that
to do
video,
this
along with school and my own content.
Which honestly just comes off as like whiny and narcissistic. Nobody put a gun to your head. You don't need to take this job. Obviously, there has to be like a balance to everything. But I mean, if you want to be successful, like at literally anything in your life ever, you're going to have to be prepared to sacrifice things like going out with your friends and hanging out with your family, working on personal projects. I don't think I put on deodorant today. God damn. After working on the 2 videos, she also worked as a writer for Quinton on like a 3rd iCarly video. I don't know the iCarly lore. I think it's an iCarly. Whatever. She basically watched the show along with him and would give him notes and jokes to use for the script. She then jumps back in time to talk about her time working on the 2nd iCarly video, complaining that during this period she had a tighter schedule because she was going back to school, which again, I'm not sure why you would bother to mention that. Like, time management is on you. If you couldn't afford to, you know, take this job on because you have too many other things going on, then don't take the job. But instead of fixing her time management issues, she decides to send a schizophrenic wall of text, which can be boiled down to, I'm busy and have anxiety. Honestly, I think this editor should probably hire me as an editor just for her like thoughts. I feel like I can make her points just a lot more.
We know those. We know those.
Quinton responds by basically saying, damn. Okay, well, let me know if you want less work and I'll hire more people. She then continues to complain about having to work hard.
I worked 6 or 7 hours a day on that video over the span of a little over a month, to the point where I had to skip class from time to time to get the video done.
She then shows us what she's actually getting paid for the 2 videos. For the first video, she got paid $2,000, and for the second, it was $1,700. Well, initially it was $1,300, but then she did ask for more money for $1,700, which he gave her. Which, in her defense, kind of, it does seem low. If her claims of working 6 to 7 days a week, about 7 hours a day, 4 weeks a pop for each video, that is fairly low. It's at this point
I don't think it even took her that long. I think she was trying to claim fucking like arduous hours, pay me more because I'm working all these hours, when you're just a fucking slow divvy fucking editor, don't know what you're fucking doing, complaining about it because you're the one that's taking too long over it. Seriously, even when I first like started teaching myself fucking editing and all that side of the thing, because I'd always worked behind the scenes like in social media and whatnot, but when I started learning all this side of the the fence sort of thing, the editing stuff and all that bits. It didn't take that long to fucking learn it. And I was like, I've got it down to pretty much half an hour now, like even big bulky fucking things. You know, I can really finesse like them quite highly as well, and minutely so. I've become quite adept at it, but I think even like twice as long, like I think my longest probably was an hour and a half once, and that was like when I was first learning. It's like I don't know what she was 7-8 hours over one thing. It's ridiculous.
And like my biggest thing is like you chose to take on all these things. Like she's complaining about having to do that work to submit for the application on her birthday and stuff. It's like you didn't have to do that. You could have just not done the work then, and you could have not submitted at all. I get wanting to, but because you wanted to, you made that sacrifice. Don't complain about the choice you made, you know?
Maybe she estimated her skill set as being a better editor than she is. Maybe she thought she could do it in a short amount of time or something. I don't know. She can't. And she's just a poor fucking editor, and that's all it is. And you shouldn't be paid fucking 8 hours for something that should take you about an hour top whack.
Jeez.
Her friendship falls apart. Her final message to him was another giant wall of meandering text. I'm not going to read it all, but to sum up the 3 points she made, point 1 was basically she blamed him for the mismanagement of her own time. Point 2 is her criticizing his work ethic, even though up until this point, she's complained about having to work hard multiple times. And point 3 was about a time she was editing an iCarly episode. She had felt triggered by some of the subject matter, and he wasn't there to console her properly. And that's why if you're triggered by a gay TV show for preteens, you should probably seek.
If you freelance as anything, I mean, if she's not got a contract or whatnot, so I guess, and you know, she's an amateur at best. She hasn't got any credentials. You know, he's paying you probably more than your fucking worth as it is. In all honesty, the fact that you've got no credentials or anything to speak of, he's helping you, if anything, because he's paying you for something that he doesn't really need. You came to him saying, oh, I could edit this for you. He said, all right, give this a go then. And that's basically going to help you, because then you'll be able to put this big creator that you've helped edit on your resume permanently. So whether he's paying you over the odds, under the odds, whatever, you should be grateful for that, because it's something that you can use in future on your resume, right? Because you're an amateur. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you kind of got to take your knocks when you're an amateur and you haven't got the credentials to back up anything, and you haven't got anything else on your resume, then you kind of got to take the crumbs off the table anyway, have you not?
Yeah. Like, that's
the way that I know
it.
When you're getting your foot in the door with anything, whether it's an internship, whatever it is, whether you're like a understudy, a fucking apprentice, whatever the fucking is it, and you're making your way up the fucking ladder, you know, and you're earning your stripes as you go, you put yourself into a position where you can ask for more the more that you go along. But this being your first job, you've got no credentials, you're an amateur, this guy's been kind enough to fucking throw a bone in your direction, and then you want to complain about the taste of it.
Yeah, I'm triggered that she was triggered. That's how that works, right? Yeah, right.
Everyone's so fucking entitled as well. Like, even people that like are not in the position to be, it's like, oh no, give me more. I deserve more. It's like, well, hold on a minute. You're only on the bottom rung of the ladder, bitch. You should be grateful at this moment in time that you've even got a paying gig.
Mm-hmm.
Serious psychiatric help. She then refuses to divulge the final reason why their friendship actually ended, as it was too personal, which again, as an editor, I think you should have realized that this was a very anticlimactic ending to your story. And finally, she mentions that she just full on told her friend to harass Quinton Reviews in DMs, which ended up getting them both blocked.
A friend of mine then chewed him out in DMs with my permission, and I got booted from his server.
The response.
Commercial.
I can't even skip it. I can.
In October of 2021, one of my editors sent me a personal message on Discord telling me that they were in love with me and they wanted to be my girlfriend.
Well done. Quinton Review 1, Flower Gothic 0. The DLC. Honestly, this explains all the red flags I noticed in her video. She's a horned up young adult who confused being in lust and having admiration for being in love with someone. And when that love wasn't reciprocated, she then proceeded to lash out and try to discredit Quinton. Because if she couldn't have him, then nobody can have him. The classic scorned woman archetype. But for prosperity, let's continue on. He legitimately did like working with her and did consider her a friend, but in hindsight, knowing what he knows now, he should have cut her loose a lot earlier. This is a point I completely agree with. She also cropped out a lot of her screenshots to paint him as the villain. The gist of the situation from his perspective is that at the time he was going through a transition period, going from shorter 20 to 30 minute videos to now working on like 4 to 5 hour videos. He never hired any editors before, so Flower Gothic was the first one he hired to the team. At the time, he only had hired her, but the plan was, which he would eventually fall through with, is building a team of editors so everything didn't fall on her shoulders. When he initially gave her the footage to start editing the first iCarly video, he gave her like basically like a 2-week span, like, hey, get back to me with the edited footage in 2 weeks. That would give him time to start writing and shooting the next part of the video. But
so think about that, right? So like, I don't know why all this pressure either. Like, if you got a whole fucking 2 weeks, even if she is the world's slowest fucking editor, right, and she took like an hour a day, that would still only take her 8 days, and she would still have like close to a fucking week over the time slot for what was expected. So what's the hoo-ha? What's the problem here?
Yeah, that. Oh boy, I'm just amazed at all the parallels we can draw on this situation. Like,
oh, we haven't even got into yet. Wait
no.
I'm gonna. She thinks she's some sort of Martian princess as well.
Oh boy!
I told you this one. I told you I was saving you the best one for last.
but she returned in 2 days, which initially he was like, oh, great, that's super quick, that's awesome. But then when he looked at the actual footage, there were so many mistakes that he then had to spend 2 days re-editing everything she did.
She sent me the project file and I went through, and it took me, I think, the same amount of time to fix everything. Do you understand? So if it took her 2 days to edit this originally, it took me 2 days to fix it.
This would be the workflow that would continue between the two of them. She would start to grow impatient, waiting to get more footage to edit from him, but a lot of his time is now being dedicated to editing the job he hired her for. During the production of the second iCarly video, when she came to him saying like, hey, I don't have as much time, he flat out said, which I believe she even screenshotted in her video, okay, cool, then yeah, I'll just pass it off to other editors, just let me know. But in hindsight, with the information we know now, it's pretty clear what was happening is that she didn't want that work to go to other editors because she was in love with them and was trying to leverage their professional relationship to build a personal one.
You know, I had to say this stuff to her because she was so enthusiastic about doing the material, about being editor number one, about always being the person who was sent the material.
So it ended up kind of becoming like this territorial thing. Her claims that she did most of the work on the first iCarly video and all of the editing on the second one were both false.
I'm quickly inserting something here, which is important for context that I forgot to mention, which is that this editor has consistently claimed that they were the only editor on these videos. So this is a lie.
Quinton himself edited a majority of the first video, and he had hired a team by the second one. That team seemed to be gelling better with his workflow, with a lot less mistakes, etc. So the plan was to fire her basically after the end of the second video.
I would give them material. They'd spend 2 to 3 weeks working on the material. Then they'd send me back the material, and I wouldn't have to change
So with their professional relationship severed, she then leveraged their personal relationship to get back into the fold by asking him if she could, you know, do notes and send him notes on the third video.
And she wanted to give me jokes and notes and rants I could go on. She was basically trying to be my ghostwriter. But a lot of the other material she would send me would be like really odd and hyper specific and sometimes inappropriate, sometimes really sexual analysis of the season 1 victorious.
So her claim is false that he hired her as a ghostwriter. And it's at this point that she drunk texts him, kind of revealing her love for him. He replies, trying to let her off easy, but in hindsight, once again, he should have been a lot more blunt and straightforward. She would again profess her love for him in those drunkenly written, useless notes for the third video. She sends a third drunk text just flat out asking him if they could date. Also, I think at this point, it confirms that she's an alcoholic.
Because that's when you can finally...
He then sent her like a long list of reasons as to why he didn't want to date her. I think all 4 reasons pretty much can be summed up with I don't mix personal with business. She was still on the payroll at the time. And that's when she sent her final message to him, which was like the rebuttal list that we saw before. And it's at this point, she's just in full on revenge mode. About the pay, he mentions that as well.
And she had a bunch of other stuff. She was like, I wanted to be paid more. You didn't.
That was probably the kindest thing as well. Like he's saying to her, I don't mix business with personal and stuff like that. Like that's him trying to like tell her like a no, obviously, in the kindest way that he possibly could.
Let that be it, you know? Oh, man.
And yeah, but that's after, like, she's already like a couple of times before that and already declared. And there's other messages where she just goes on and on about that I like you, I like you, not just like you, I really like you, and yeah, mental stuff.
Oof.
Pay me enough.
Crazy bitches be crazy.
You didn't pay me enough, and you were abusing my feelings to get me to accept less of a paycheck. And I paid her what the number she suggested.
He claims that this defect in his operation has since been remedied with future editors, which he seemed pretty reasonable about everything, so I'll take him at his word for that. This whole experience was quite the roller coaster for me. I didn't really know what this was going to be going into it. I saw other people kind of talking about it, so I was like, oh, let me poke around and see what's going on here. I didn't think her video was going to be that bad. What was this lady thinking? In what universe could you very clearly drunkenly write a script and then drunkenly record a video and then edit that video, show it to people, and then still upload it thinking this makes you look like a sane person? Not to mention the entire time she's like overacting and the whole thing just comes off like a performance. It was very cringe, very cringe.
So there you go. So you get the gist there of the whole thing back and forth. But then what we've got next is quite glorious. So let me get it up. So then I went and found the actual video and watched it, and I was like, oh Lord.
Oh boy.
Like I couldn't take I was tired and I shouldn't have watched it. Like I was just going to save it to the playlist, and I ended up watching the whole fucking thing because it was just like too mental.
I kind of love that stuff though, where you can't look away.
And I was like, well, that's a good sign that she goes on the list, because like when you can't take your fucking eyes off or something.
There's so much of that right now. I'll just say that.
And then we got the one that I found like that's from like 2 years ago, and then that's just another window into her soul that I wasn't even expecting, and I got caught up in that one as well. Yeah, I fell down a whole fucking rabbit hole. Okay.
Oh boy, take us with you. Sarah, why are you wiggling your eyebrows? Oh.
You ready? I don't think you're ready, but I don't think any of you are ready.
All right, fine. I'll make an actual video talking about my experiences with Quinton Reviews. Hello, everyone. My name is Julia, known on the internet as Flower Gothic, and I edited Quinton Reviews' first 2 iCarly videos. I edited the majority of I Binged iCarly, and I was essentially the sole editor for the end of iCarly.
Okay.
While editing for him, I was overworked, underpaid, and I eventually realized that he never treated me as a friend, even though he called me one. Oh, and if you think I'm lying about that,
I think you're an awesome, funny person.
Today I want to talk about the year and a half I associated myself with Quinton and how he ended up kind of fucking me over. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Fuck if I know. I've talked about this before on social media, but some dear friends of mine encouraged me to make an official call-out video to get the word out more in a way that's not me drunkenly yelling at people on Twitter. So let's do this.
Just drunkenly.
Is that what you were doing otherwise?
In February 2020 with Garfield Eats. I half-jokingly made a story on my Instagram asking for Garfield Eats to come to Houston, which is my hometown and where I lived at the time. The Garfield Eats Instagram liked it, and I didn't think much of it until a couple of weeks later, when I was added by Garfield Eats to a group chat where they were asking fans of the restaurant to invest in their expansion that ended up never happening. One of the other people in that chat was Quinton.
Dun, dun,
Not
dun.
the chat. Oh no. Crazy bitches and chats
I
no
knew
mixed.
of him, but I wasn't necessarily a fan. I knew he made that popular hashtag change the channel video and a couple other things, but I never watched them, or if I did, I don't remember. Oh, and if you're wondering, he gave Garfield Eats like $100 or something for their expansion. Eventually, Garfield Eats let their fanvestors, yes, that's what they really called us, have a Zoom meet and greet with Nathan Masry himself on April 20th. I went because I had nothing better to do, and lo and behold, Quinton was there too, wearing a...
Her receipts are her just typing text and inserting it into the video. Have you noticed that's what her receipts... She says something, she goes, so this occurred, and then a little block of text comes up with the sentence that she just spoke, basically. Those are... did you notice that?
Yeah. We've seen this before.
I can type my own
Crazy
receipt too,
bitches.
bitch.
Like, what? It's amazing. That,
Did you know that you
people
could do
just
that little bit? Did you know that, just like start typing on your keyboard and you can like have a receipt for anything? Did you know?
Oh, well, I think she believes it, These people, they do.
Look at that fucking face as well, look.
Yeah, that's what you can see it, right? You can see it. The crazy, it's there. They're nuts. And they take one little thing. Tragic does the same thing. They take one little thing and they blow it into something that it even you couldn't even fathom. You're like, how did you get that out of that? They all do it.
She looks like a drunk relative of DC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, the hair is frizzy enough. Oh, but she's got hair. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. I like that she said that she.
Oh, this is DC's cousin. I wouldn't doubt it. I'd be like,
I wouldn't
all right,
think twice.
I'll
No, yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't. Neither would Draco.
Fucking Garfield cap. Nathan Masry then confused me for strange aeons. No, really, he actually did that. Oh, you don't believe I was in that meeting? And that was the first genuine interaction Quinton and I had? Well, let's look at his Garfield plush video.
And it seemed like most of the people were there to troll him or put him on the spot.
There I am! That's me! It's me trying to process everything that's being said in the chat. I posted about it on Twitter, and Quinton liked and retweeted a bit of it. I think I followed him at that point. I don't remember. It was certainly around that time. And that was that. Until a month and a half later.
Well, bitch, considering you're interacting on somebody's fucking post there, I pretty much guarantee you was the one following him and he was interacting on that fucking thread right there, not he was following you and interacting on your thread. Which way do you think it is, Little Boots? What do you think the likelihood is that she was following him?
I think it's her. For sure.
Strange that. I don't know. Maybe she's typed something up for us. We'll see. Maybe she's got a receipt that goes with it.
Probably.
Later, my friend Superdark was on Quinton's Discord server for a while, and they asked me if I wanted to be invited to it. I said, sure, why not? And I got in. Quinton immediately recognized my username and asked if we met before. I mentioned that I was on the Garfieldies call, and he remembered the whole Strange Aeons thing. Quinton and I would periodically talk, never in the DMs though, always in his server, and even took some of my suggestions, like showing video from Mr. Personality in his O.J. Simpson video, and to cut short the Madonna bit in his TikTok video because he fucking explained the joke in the original for the cut to the parody. Who the fuck does that? I'm sorry.
Oh, hun.
Really intense.
Honey.
Wait a minute. She edited that, right? Because it clipped. If you notice, right, she edited a chunk out of there. That's the bit that she kept in. That's the bit
she's reading a script and behaving this way. Will you tap it back a couple times? The like 5-second taps. Because I want to. She was about to like go off here. Oh, look at her! Look at her!
And then if you watch, she edited it at the end, so it went off a bit more. She thought, no, this is good enough to keep in. So this was consciously kept in. Think about that.
Showing video from Mr. Personality in his O.J. Simpson video, and to cut short the Madonna bit in his TikTok video because he fucking explained the joke in the original for the cut to the parody. Who the fuck does that? I'm sorry. I get really intense when there's a crime against comedy. But the biggest one was perhaps the title to his CN Real video. He had trouble thinking of one as he wanted it to explicitly mention Cartoon Network and that it was about the CN Real block.
I knew you
I pitched Cartoon Network's failed live action block and, well,
yeah.
So that was nuts. What was she looking at? She didn't put anything in there, like a little picture or nothing. She's like looking up, but she went back and forth like 4, 5, 6 maybe times. Whoa, you guys!
So you know,
she then watched that and uploaded it.
You know the crazy eyes. They literally rolled around in the head, like as she's like as her emotions go, they like little marbles going crazily rolling around in her skull. Like literally, she's got the crazy eyes.
Nutso.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And that's the bit she thought she'd keep in, because if you notice, it clipped at the end of her going off then. And so she clearly went off further than that, but she still thought that bit was good enough to keep in. So it tells you her level of self-awareness, really, even with editing skills.
Oh boy. She's something, man.
I know. And wait, because this right led me down to the further fucking rabbit hole where I was like, because at first I thought, is this a skit? Is she like amping this up, blah, blah? And that's what made me dig into her past. So we'll get there.
He followed me on Twitter after that video got released, and I reminded him I pitched the title. Throughout the next few months, I managed to befriend Quinton. I got the coveted do not kick role in his Discord, made that masked Quinton edit. He uses his Twitter profile for a bit, and I even befriended his biggest yes man, Hippie, and
Masked
appeared on
edit.
his
That's a
channel in a
Snapchat
since
filter.
privated or deleted video. By the way, Hippie, if you're watching this, I hold no ill will against you. I just wish you haven't drunk the Kool-Aid, so to speak. Side note about Quinton's Discord.
Don't drunk the
I've said it
Kool-Aid,
before,
y'all.
and
Don't
I
you
wish I
drunk
had
it.
receipts of this, but I sadly only have this.
Don't believe them when they say that I'm nuts.
But Quinton kind of used his server as talk therapy. There would be times where he would just hop on and say, "Hey, is anyone around? I'm feeling down and I want to talk to someone," or something along the lines of that. And basically whoever happened to be on at the moment had to lift his spirits or whatever. Again, I sadly don't have any screenshots of those chats, so unless someone else leaks them, you're gonna have to take my word on it. Now, you may be thinking, wait a second, Flower, what about iCarly? Where's the iCarly editing story?
Yeah,
we're about to get to it. I wanted to give a bit of a prelude before I talked about it. With everything I said on Twitter and TikTok, it's easy to believe that Quinton and I's association didn't begin until I started editing the iCarly videos. That's not true, and this was meant to show that we knew each other for a while beforehand. It has the added effect of me putting a bit too much trust in Quinton, since I considered him a friend and he told me he considered me a friend. But let's get on with it.
That don't mean nothing.
I mostly addressed this in a Twitter thread, so if any of this sounds like rehashing, I do apologize.
When have you
Who are you talking to?
Like, the term friend can be applied loosely or, tightly. Do you know what I mean? Depending on the structure of the relationship, how long you've known a person, if you know them in real life or just on the internet, all these different things come into play, right? Like, you can loosely say that you're friends with someone, and it not really mean that much. Or you can say that you're friends with someone and it means the world. There's a spectrum on the friendship thing. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of
and that goes the case anyway. Just in real life, let's just say in real life, let's take the internet out of the equation. Just in real life, there's a spectrum of friendship. Even within your own friend group, you have different dynamics with different people, like different relationships with them. Like, you may have friends that you both have the same fucking exact humor, and there's another friend that you kind of go to them with your problems, because you're just more inclined that way, emotionally with that person, whatever. You have different dynamics with different humans, and that's the way it should be. So therefore you're going to have different friendships, and that's just in real life, let alone when it comes to this online fuckery. And those sort of things, can become quite interchangeable. Even with someone that you've known for quite a long time, it can all of a sudden, go to the wayside with someone. Nothing's carved in stone. Do you know what I mean? Nobody owes you anything.
Yeah.
And a friendship is a two-way street. And if you're not feeling that it's a fucking two-way friendship, then it's not. Because it's not.
Yeah. It's it seems like he definitely told her very pretty point blank about it too.
Well, you only get out of a friendship what you put in, right? So your expectations of a friendship are not just expectations. They're also, like I'm saying, a two-way fucking street. And you start to feel that shit out very early on with a person. So if you're putting in a majority of the effort and they're not giving you the same warmth back, let's say, then that tells you that should be your first indicator that it's not a fair friendship already. They don't necessarily have quite the same level of fondness necessarily for you that you may have for them. Right?
Yeah. I think it's but she if it's a she, Kate is here, and I kind of Kate. I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if anyone caught it, but I've been staring. But they think that they didn't do anything wrong, like that they put in like all of the work, so they expected all of the work back, right? And they didn't get that. And it's like, you can't be the one that like over puts in shit and then gets upset. Like, you did that to yourself.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And like, you can say you're friends to the cows come home, literally, right? But at the end of the day, a friendship is a living, breathing fucking thing. And if it's not actually functioning as an actual friendship, there's no like dynamic there. You've not got actual any chemistry, any conversation outside of the topic that you're actually discussing, that you're there for. And because you was hired by him, then it should be pretty much professional at that point. You shouldn't have much else to talk to him about, really. I would have seen it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see why the friendship thing goes to the wayside. Once a professional relationship is created with anyone, this is the way that I see it, because I've had people that do this and like have hired me for work or whatnot. And the friendship thing is secondary, because once there's a professional relationship constructed, that has to come first and be seen to first and foremost. And then like anything outside of that can be friendship. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they understand boundaries.
But that's just normal in any
they
sort
think
of
they're an editor.
environment, right? That's just normal in any professional environment. Let's take your work colleagues or your boss, if you work in an office or whatever it is, right? Now, it comes to fucking the working hours and the working day, you've got a certain relationship and you present yourselves as such. Then when it comes to you clocking out, and let's say you always like doing a works party or something, you know, and you're all like, well, you're not on the clock now. You can all be yourselves, right? And the relationships and the dynamic can slightly shift outside of the professional relationship somewhat. But that's the only time. It's like, but when you're in professional, she should have been contacting him about the job only at that point. That's what I mean.
Yeah. There's a clear disconnect from reality, for sure.
Well, there's a clear reason why she didn't actually say that it was all about getting close to him. It wasn't about the job, because if it was about the job, then it would have been about the job.
We've seen this before. Oh, guess what they also do, Kate? They write walls of text. Wonderful novels.
I reckon we can speed this up to 1.25 because I want to get to the other one.
Oh,
it is so
that
good.
Could be interesting. Let's do it.
All right.
1 month before I binged iCarly dropped, things were moving super slow. Minimal progress, so to speak. Quinton had no real assets to work with, and if memory serves me right, he was just scratching the surface of season 2. I remember Quinton having little done in mid-May because that was the same time I turned 21, which in America is a very significant birthday, because that's when you can finally drink. So when Quinton was lamenting about looking for editors to get the video out before the iCarly revival, I volunteered myself. I spent 8 hours of my May 16, 2021 editing Quinton's thoughts on the pilot, which was the tryout everyone who applied had to do. Here was Quinton's reaction. So yeah, I was hired like immediately. Was there a contract? No. Why didn't I ask for one? 2 reasons. 1, this was my very first real editing gig. I was fresh to the scene, as they say, and honestly, I had no clue that contracts were a necessity. 2, I had a major admiration.
You had no clue?
I thought, hey, he's worked with people before. He knows the drill. I placed my trust in him. Now, during the majority of my time editing I Binged iCarly, I was in a 3-week, 15-day symposium for college where we made 2.
Well, to be quite honest, not only was it her first editing job, but as he already declared, he didn't have anyone else edit those things because he was moving from like shorter content to long form content, right? So the fact is yeah, both of them maybe should have discussed that, but they didn't. But the terms were still discussed. He still said, you know, what are the terms in terms of what do you want to be paid for this? You know, he gave her 2 weeks to complete it. It took her 8 hours to do this. She had a 2 weeks fucking thing. She got paid for the amount that she requested. If she wanted more, she could have asked for more. She didn't. If she wanted a contract, she could have asked for a contract. She didn't. Why is it all on him? And all the terms that she asked for were met at the time.
Yeah. That is like considered a contract if both parties agree.
Well, yeah, it is. It's a written contract. The terms are written out, even in DM format. And it's same as if you do it over the telephone, then it's a verbal contract, so to speak. But still, the terms were discussed. You can't say that they weren't. You was asked what you wanted. You said the amount. He didn't even say the amount, and you agreed to it. You said the amount, and he agreed to it.
Yeah. She just wanted to be close to him.
Right. She's got no room to complain.
2 short films. These classes lasted about 4 hours, not including an hour break for lunch. So I would wake up at 7 a.m., go to class at 9, stay there till like 2 or 3, and go
Girl,
home.
no one cares about your schedule.
Till like 9 or 10 p.m. Taking breaks, of course, were dinner and bathroom stuff, but only those 2 things. In total, I was working about 7 hours a day on that iCarly video, along with school and my own content. And as I said before,
why was she working 7 hours a day on that video when she said it took 8 hours to complete? That makes no sense, that bit. She just said I was working and I was doing schoolwork and working 7 hours a day on this iCarly video. It was a 4-hour video, right? We saw it on his thumbnails. It was like 4 hours something, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Even if
maybe she didn't understand
really
what
slowly edited that. Even if it took me like 2 hours, let's be really slow on it, okay? It's like
I edited some shit. I clipped some stuff while I was at work today.
8 hours is still quite a big window. He gave her 2 weeks, and then she's complaining that she's working on it 7 hours a day. Why would you be working on it 7 hours a day? None of it adds up.
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
You can't complain about your schedule. You agreed. You had a 2-week time period to do it. When you look at the 2 weeks and you agree to do this, you should agree. Like, you should know what you're getting into. And if you didn't, you should tell him. Be like, I can't do this. Don't complain after.
It's a ridiculous thing anyway. Who's editing 7 hours a day?
I don't know.
Like, there's YouTubers that upload like daily, right, and edited content at that, right, and they're not taking 7 hours to edit daily for one fucking video. She's doing it daily for 8 days in a row. How many hours on one video? What?
I don't know.
And he said that there was tons of mistakes in her stuff and all kinds of things. This is part of the reason why they got rid of her when they hired other people, was that she wasn't even doing a good job. So for all the time that she was spending on it, she was more concerned about having communication with the guy. Weirdo.
I was the sole guest editor for seasons 1 and 2. By the time season 3 was being edited, more editors joined, and my workload reduced. Even then, Quinton credited me for saving the project.
Do you want a gold
Payment
star?
was not discussed until after the video was released.
Maybe.
Hell, I didn't even know how much I would get paid until the video dropped. He offered $2,000, of which PayPal cut. I know I took like 2 or 3 days off while editing, but all in all, I was working 6 or 7 days a week on that mess. I didn't even know I was being underpaid until experienced editors pointed it out to me. Once the videos were out.
What the fuck?
Once the video was out, Quinton worked on the Victorious video because he wanted his then long hair that he was planning to cut to be his style for that video for reasons I don't quite remember. And I worked on my own content.
So she admittedly, I took 2 or 3 days off, I can't remember, probably more, then wants to claim, but I still worked 6 days like in a row for that video, right? And I didn't know I was being underpaid because she's saying that she worked 7.5 hours a day for it. Bollocks, by the way.
Why are you working before certain
She
terms?
wasn't. She's claiming that she's working all these hours, and that's why she can claim that she was underpaid.
Mhm.
She wasn't underpaid. For one fucking video, you got paid fucking $2,000. That's not bad. And whether it took you fucking 6 days, 6 hours, whatever, that's on you. You got paid for the actual job. It doesn't matter how long you took to fucking do it, in all honesty. Whatever it takes to complete it, you put down the price. It was paid to you. And what do you mean about you're greatly underpaid? You ask other editors. Those other editors have not only got other fucking work on their resume, they've probably got credentials in editing and whatnot, as well as on top of. So they can ask for the going rate.
Gas. Yeah. Jeez.
But even then, I still watched Victoria's along with him and Hippie. I gave him notes and everything. Hell, 2 of the jokes in the Victoria's video were from my notes.
You could argue that
Two jokes.
in a way, a representation of the Freud psychoanalytic theory, which posits that there are numerous different aspects of our personalities which we strive to strike a balance between. Transpires that Cat has used a parody of Gorilla Glue for the adhesive, meaning the makeup is stuck to Tori's face, and also that the writers predicted Gorilla Glue Girl.
And he gave me and Hippie special thanks in the original ending for the first Victoria's video. Also, did you know that the Victoria's video was intended to only be one video? The entire iCarly video essay series was meant to only be like 6 videos. 2 for iCarly, 1 for Victorious, 1 for Sam and Cat, 1 for all of Dan Schneider's fuckery, and 1 for the reboot. Now he's 6 videos in, and he hasn't even finished Sam and Cat. Think about that. One more thing before I discuss End of iCarly. If you saw my Duggar video, you would know that my travel companion got really sick while we were in Arkansas, and I had to take them to urgent care. Throughout the entire trip, I periodically messaged Quinton about it, especially since I was originally going to go for the Josh Duggar trial.
Do you care that you're dealing with real life shit?
Very passive. And he was one of the first people I talked to once I got back. I sent a message about how much of a clusterfuck the trip turned out to be. I finally found the message. I'm not going to show all of it to respect the pronouns of my travel buddy, as well as...
Oh my god, why should he fucking care?
What?
He hired you
You're
to
not
do a
gonna-
job.
What?
You've gone on a trip and your friend got sick and he should care more.
No, they're not going to show the DMs to protect the pronouns of their friend. What the hell? What are the pronouns? What are you hiding? What is happening? Show me the DMs.
Steph, she's too intense. I can't look at her.
Kate, I know. I don't know though. It could be either way. She said protect her friend. Her friend. Yeah. All right. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
No, well, she's interested in this Quinton guy, Kate, right?
What kind of excuse is that?
No, she's got romantic designs on him, and there's like these other DMs where she's admitting like she's got all these feelings for him and everything. So I don't know, like companion, whatever, travel companion, friend, whatever it fucking is. But the fact is, she feels like he should care more about her. She's perturbed at the fact that beyond a business relationship or being his editor, he's not taking more of a personal interest in her hardships.
She really called her friend a travel companion.
Yeah, she's weird, isn't she? She's the sort of person that would pick up a guitar and be like, I'm a troubadour now. You know?
Goddamn person, dude.
His response. Once Quinton switched gears to iCarly Part 2, I, for some reason, ended up being the only editor hired for it. I was the sole editing credit.
Oh, no.
Now, I kept in mind Video 1's 4-week turnaround time, and the fact that
probably
summer
trying to
was
appease
coming
you.
to an end. I made it clear to Quinton that my availability was limited and that there would come a point where I had to return to school for my final semester. I even showed him my calendar. One additional class was added to that calendar for Mondays and Wednesdays after that, and there was one do-at-your-own-pace class that was entirely online and thus not on the calendar.
Herself. If you take on a part-time job, right, do you like then expect your part-time job to be like bending over backwards and taking into account what you've got? No, it's the other way.
Would you just give them a screenshot of your calendar? Like, no, you explain what you're able to do. We had this conversation earlier today. I didn't send you my calendar.
Right. If you sent me your calendar, I would have fucking laughed. I would have fucking laughed.
Infer it, bitch. No, like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
You're like telling me what time your fucking lunch break is and what.
No, you say when you can do what you can do.
I'd
You
be
say
like,
when
yeah,
you
all
can
right.
do the work.
We only stream and go. Why do I need to know all that? I'd be like,
no, exactly. You like, this bitch is so crazy. You have to tell people. You can't just be like, here, and then expect them to get it. You have to say, this is when I can do this, and this is when I can't. Ta-da! Jesus.
This is
She hasn't even drank it that much wine, honestly. Like, the glass is half empty.
it's more than.
But she's
that was 3/4 full, and that's a big tumbler. That's not a wine glass. That's a huge, like, Scotch tumbler, which you're meant to have a little sliver of drink at the bottom on it.
You're meant
like,
to have
that
what she's
was
got left.
3/4
Yeah.
fucking full.
Stop overworking, little boots. I'm gonna fire my manager.
We've got 5 more minutes of this, and then I'm gonna get you on to the next one. Because if you think this is something, wait until we get to the next one.
And instead of showing respect for my time, he would take forever to send me the assets. It left me on the edge, constantly on my toes throughout August and September. And remember, I was the sole editor. There were times I had to beg him for the fucking assets for me to do my job. I even expressed my grievances via message.
That's a message. Oh boy. Novelist. She's a novelist.
Thanks again for having me on for this amazing opportunity of getting to edit your iCarly series. So it starts off like that, right? So led into this. So it is an opportunity. And this is, as at any point while she sat here and like slagged him off and the whole situation, and she said that she was given an opportunity. The fact is that she had no credentials. The fact is that she had nothing else to put on her resume until this fucking instance. That she should be eternally grateful to him for that, if nothing else. Even if he didn't pay her for the job, even if it was an unpaid, she volunteered and she got it on her resume. Now she can forevermore get paid jobs because of that. It's the truth, though, isn't it? She didn't have anything else up until that. She wouldn't have been able to get hired as another editor for another fucking goddamn thing until she got that first one. So it's invaluable, in fact, I think you'll find.
Oh my God. This shit is nutty, you guys. In the middle, she's like, but lately I can't help but feel frustrated at the lack of ability to work on the project. The lack of ability to work on what the fuck? Bitch, just tell him you can't do it. I've cleared out as much of my schedule as I can. Just say I don't have time to do it anymore. There, I summed it up. I guess what I'm trying to say is I really want to get the ball rolling on recording and editing iCarly Part 2 as soon as possible. Is that really what you want to do? Because you just spent this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs before that one. That's not even your end one.
Did you read at the bottom where
paragraphs?
You read at the bottom where it says, Quinton, hun, I love you. And I really want to see this project succeed. And I don't have many more days to put other things on hold whilst waiting for iCarly assets to edit.
Why is she calling them assets? What is this? I'm going to start calling clips I send you assets. Do you want to see my assets?
I bet you get a lot of responses from that. Oh, damn.
But like that's it. That is a wall text. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs. At least you broke it in paragraphs. Remember when AK first started and they were in like 2? They were massive.
I never looked at one of
His
them.
response was along the lines
I never
of,
read 'em
I
either,
hear
it's
you,
true.
but
Sorry.
he didn't address anything I said.
Leave it for someone else. I don't care.
So editing part 2 was hell, to say the least. I worked 6 or 7 hours a day on that video over the span of a little over a month, to the point where I had to skip class from time to time to get the video done. I wanted it to succeed. I felt like, well, the video was my child.
Don't skip
I
class
was
for
super
this.
attached to it, which, to be fair, is something I also experienced when working on my own content. September 2021.
Oh, that was
iCarly comes
scary.
out. Guess how much Quinn
twist.
offered? $1,300. I asked for $1,700 and he sent it. When I called him out originally, I wanted to highlight this part the most. That he paid me
Wait. Pause
less
it.
for doing more. I binged iCarly.
He offered 13. You asked for 17, and he sent it. It
You
looks
said
like she got
19
16.
there. Underneath that, it said 19.
Yeah, and it looks like she got 1660 something. So PayPal took $30 out of 1,700. You asked for
not only did
400
he give you-
more.
and then
He
gave
gave
you
it to you.
So then he gave you the 17, and then he gave you another 2.5K, I guess, for the short change that he gave you on the 16.5. So you still
sounds
got
like-
more than you should have for that first video as well. So you more than got enough, because what he did, he added to that second one.
Yeah. I don't get why she's even complaining if he met all of her terms. You requested more money, he met it.
This
Why
is
are
for
you
a
now?
person that's at school. She's a student, right? She's able to edit, right, in hours that she wouldn't be able to, like, she hasn't got any work costs, like, in terms of, like, leaving the house, travel, buying lunches, anything, because she's working from home. So let's remember that.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got the luxury of, like, not only are you working from home, right, but you're also able to fit it in the odd hours where you wouldn't be able to do other things, right? And you're getting paid quite a chunk of money for it. Everything that you've asked for, you've been given, if not slightly more.
Yeah.
He's bent over backwards, listened to all your complaints, even about your fucking travel companion, and him not caring is not enough.
Yeah, how dare you pay me what I asked for?
She's not so. But this is like, yeah.
May
Wait,
have
you
been
missed it.
longer,
We went over
but
not drinking the
as I said, by
Kool-Aid.
season 3, 2 more people were added, so I...
Do you think we can bump it up to 1.5? Do you reckon I'm going to...
Oh, she's going to be crazy, but let's do it.
Yeah, but we've only got a couple minutes. Let's do it,
No.
because I want to get into the other one.
I ended up doing less overall for that video than I did for End of iCarly. PayPal took their cut, and I was left feeling listless, weary.
Their cut was
like,
$30,
something
bitch.
was wrong, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Quinn still called me his friend. I still gave him notes for Victorious, but I felt like everything was one-sided, that I was giving way more than I was receiving.
Her.
And then in November, our
I was giving way
friendship
more than I
fell
was
apart.
receiving. What are you
Final
talking
nail in the
about,
coffin
you
is
know?
still something I'll keep near and dear to my heart. But here was my final message to him.
Do you want to read that?
Not really.
I don't either.
They summed it up in that other video, so if you want to read it on your own time.
So basically, bullet point number 1 is taking advantage of my flexibility.
We watched
Right.
that other guy bullet point it. Just press play. They can read it if they want to.
Second one is terrible work ethic. 3, calling me a great friend and considering me a part of your circle when you didn't treat me like a friend. I love point number 3. That is a title for like any sort of bullet point. It's just marvelous.
Dude, don't walk away from the crazy ones, man. They follow you.
The bottom sentence, there are other things that have rubbed me the wrong way, like they're not good, to say the least. where you reminded patrons of the fact that their relationship with you is parasocial. They aren't grievances per se, but they certainly aren't helping your case. No, that's the right thing. That is the right thing to remind his patrons, that the relationships are parasocial. That is the right thing to remind his community that, hey, don't be feeling like weirdly close to me or whatnot, or expecting things from me that I can't deliver to you. I don't want you to feel let down, because that is
he
a
really
way
tried.
of making them into a false sense of security. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to be as honest with them as possible. And you think that's problematic. You're wrong. To do the other thing would be worse.
Right. I would actually rather read her long posts than someone else's long posts.
Yeah, right.
Like hers are like bolded and bulleted, and some of it's in bold, some of it's caps, some of it's not caps. It's spicy and it's spelled correctly. Look at that.
You're going to love her next video. Wait for it.
Oh no.
Oh, come on. Skip ahead.
I wrote it in notes because I wanted my friends to look over it before I sent it. He then gave me a
Look
half
at that
apology.
review. Yeah. You think? No.
A friend of mine then chewed him out in DMs with my permission, and I got booted from his server. And that was that. I spent 4 goddamn months in silence afterwards, hoping for some kind of apology from
You
him.
let a friend
But
attack
instead,
him.
he self-called me a quitter on New Year's Eve. Part of me thinks he knows he fucked up, but wants to run away from his problems instead of, actually addressing them.
He wants to run away from you. Let him go. Oh,
And,
no.
well, it's finally on YouTube, so God knows what will happen.
No.
Right now, I don't think Quinton wants to continue the iCarly videos. I think he's just chasing a high. His iCarly videos are super successful, so he feels obligated to make these super long meandering works, each one longer than the last, in hopes he can reach those millions of views again. That he can finally get that coveted 1 millionth subscriber. And hey, maybe I'm being petty, but even 2 years later, I'm still pissed off at him for what he did.
And thousands
And besides,
and
I
thousands.
know he hasn't changed as a boss, but that's someone else's story to tell. I know that he was indeed creepy to Sarah Zed and Lindsay Ellis in Twitter DMs. I know the contents of those DMs, but that's someone else's story to tell.
Why do you know that?
Only sin. For all I know, it could just
Bitch, get out of other people's DMs.
Share this to the people you know, and let's find out. After all,
She is
things
just
are seldom what they seem. Non semper sunt evidente.
What? What did she say then? What? Did you?
I don't know, but I was
No, I
impressed
need
with
to
the
hear that
downing the
again.
wine
Wait.
glass. Because look, she knew she was going to do that. She's also reading off a script we determined earlier.
But wait for this last little bit that she reads out. Wait, ready?
Share this to the people you know, and let's find out. After all, things are seldom what they seem. Non semper sunt evidente.
The fuck? Oh my god.
Did you like that?
Yep.
Cutie pie.
But also not as much like, oh man. It's too similar, you guys. I'm scared.
So wait for this. Wait, I'm gonna.
Did she have a mini
I'll
stroke
go
at the
bring
end?
up the
I don't know.
next
She
one.
said something in what, like Latin? What language did she speak, you guys? I don't know. I'm a dumb white bitch. What did she speak? It was nutty. Inquiring minds want to know.
So I was like, yeah. So I was like, well, clearly, like she'd written out like her own fucking talking points or script or whatever you want to call it, right? But still, all her mannerisms and everything that went with it that was erratic is pretty fucking as it is, you know.
He spoke Merlot. Yeah. Sorry, that's amazing. That oh my god.
Paste that into there.
I still kind of stand by that wasn't that much wine. That was like very purposeful, crazy. That's what's
well. That was a
scary to
big
me.
tumbler of wine. Like that was a big. Like that would be considered more than a large glass of wine, even. because
Yeah.
it was a big round tumbler and it was 3/4 full. So it would probably be like at least 2 normal glasses of wine, you know what I mean, to the brim.
Yeah.
So I was like, is that all performative? Is it this? Is it like, what the fuck is going on with this bitch? Because I was just like so curious by her now. I was like, let me go look at like further into her channel.
No, like
And
the eyes looked at the camera enough.
I scrolled
That bitch
down, like
crazy.
I went into oldest, like you do, and I was like, let me see like something old of hers. And the first title that caught my eye, I was like, well, this is an eye
He does a
catcher.
lot of content.
And I was like, let's see what this one is then, because this is an eye-catching title. Well, I fucking watched this and I was like, I don't know if I picked the right video or what, but you're welcome.
So Kate, he does a bunch of different content. He was doing shorter vids and then ended up doing two vids only on iCarly. One was like 4 something hours long and the other one was 3 something. It was like 8 hours.
Called Quinton
content.
Reviews.
I don't know. I watched that as a kid. I'm a baby.
Yeah, and there's weirdos out there, Kate. You should know about that already. Come on. So this stream, or this video rather, I should say, is called My Pubescent Psychosis.
Oh, I believe it. Oh no. Oh boy.
So
gang, it's me.
I just
Oh no, I'm gonna really try hard to keep some comments to myself.
Now, if you thought the last one was nuts, just hold on to your seats, okay?
What's she drinking over there?
I don't know, but this makes me want to. I almost felt like I'd been drinking by the end of this video. I was like,
the hat. I can't take it. I can't take it seriously.
Flower Gothic. I'm recovering, as of now, from my 2010 trilogy because that was a very ambitious project, more so than anything I have ever really done. So I wanted to do something simple yet personal this month. And this is the first time I'm going to be publicly open about this. I mean, I've been open before about my mental health and my mental illnesses, but I guess they're
saying something.
Sorry, Glory B came in. I said MVP.
I can barely hear you. I can hear you mumbling in the background.
No shit.
I'm
Sorry.
like, what are you saying?
I could hear myself. Said hi to Glory. She's been sniping some real, like, this is crazy, you guys, but she's been sniping some really, real crazy. Good job. Thank you. Okay, I'm done.
There's more to the story. For a period in my adolescence, I experienced a series of hallucinations and delusions that worsened due to my time in middle school, or junior high school, secondary school, whatever you call it in your country. To give you all some context, in middle school, I was considered a creepy person. I frequently stalked people who I admired and thought were cool, and with it, I was quite a loner.
So I'm just pausing it quickly in case you didn't catch that. So we're here to this day where we just watched this video where she's like contacting this YouTuber and like offering to be an editor, and it's all backfired and whatnot. But if you see this video, it's from 2 years before that, where she admits that even from being a young teenager, not only just having delusions and psychotic episodes and whatnot, but also being known as being a creepy person and stalking people. So just pay like attention to like other details from what you just watched as well.
Who was in the climax of her weeaboo days, but
weeaboo days.
Everything that I'm about to say is what I was going through in my head at that time. But let me take you back to the beginning, so I can tell y'all what happened that initially started my deteriorating mental state.
Is it still on 1.5?
The summer before 5th grade, I discovered Duck Dodgers and Lunatics Unleashed.
Yeah. Want me to say it
I
down?
would put it to what? Yeah, 1.25. It's a little too.
All right. She
I'm
does
missing
talk
words
quite
now.
slow. I think there is some sort
can't
of
keep up with it.
retardation there. I can't do
Thanks.
fully normal.
Yeah, same. Okay.
And
Thank you.
as I've said before, I fell in love with them. And the crossover fanfiction I read about them, Prince of Mars, also inspired me, as I wanted to be a child of the Martian Queen too.
No.
And the day before I left for my first international trip to Cancun, Mexico, I heard a voice in my head for the first time. It was Quinton. Oddly enough, I guess I realized that I was the only one who heard her, so I almost always communicated with her in my head through my thoughts. It started innocently enough with her being the friend I always wanted, especially since
She communicated
I've
with
always
the friend
been
in her
kind of an
head.
eccentric
Oh,
person.
no.
But I also had pretty severe anxiety as a child, so I didn't have very many real friends. But
we can tell.
soon enough, the delusions came. I legitimately thought that I was the long-lost daughter of the queen, Madison Losette, and I guess Losette was the name of the noble house or something. I don't know. I legit wrote a diary detailing a lot of these delusions. Sadly, it's been lost to the times, but I
Light
would
that
write
shit on
again
fire.
and again and again about how someday I'll be able to go to 24th and a half century Mars so I can be the Martian crown princess.
See, I told you she's a Martian princess. I told you.
I distinctly remember showing one of those diaries to someone while on a trip with my Girl Scout troop to Great Wolf Lodge. And they were very confused by the first few pages, like, who's the Martian queen? Why are you writing all this deluded shit? And I ended up just snatching it from their hands and never showing my diaries to anyone ever again. I'm pathetic. But I also thought these random trinkets would be my keys to go to Mars to be with my true mother, or that Tierney in my head told me something about my life that I would write about in my self-insert fanfiction. Oh yeah, the self-insert fanfiction. So I thought those were things that were going to really happen to me when I ended up going to Mars. And I thought that a childhood friend of mine, whom I will not name to protect his privacy, was my long-lost twin brother, Niall Lucette, and that we would go together once we were 12 to Mars and live out the rest of our days fighting monsters. And
I love the names as well. Her long lost brother, Niall Lucette. Niall Lucette.
I just earlier she's like, oh, I gotta protect. I won't show the screenshot to protect his pronouns. And just like, what is
Right, so she's telling you that not only did this is what happened to her, she actually believed this happened. It wasn't just fan fiction to her. She believed that this was actually going to happen. But not only was these diaries where she wrote down all this mentalness, lost or whatnot, but it doesn't really matter that it was or wasn't, because if you look at her eyes where they're going to right now as she's thinking of this world. She's still there. She is still inside her head, that entire world, everything that she wrote down as a child, it still all exists to her. It doesn't matter that those journals are gone. You can tell by the look in that eye, even that that's where she's traveling to in her mind.
And then I think it was telling that she said that she was talking to her friend in her head. She acknowledged that it was delusional. I bet she did the similar thing with Quinton, or whatever his name is.
I never had many real friends when I was younger.
Yeah.
She said to start off a phrase
imaginary friends.
Many real friends. Most people might even lonely kids, let's say introverted or shy kids might say, I didn't have many friends when I was younger. They wouldn't say I didn't have many real friends.
Yeah, when I was saying talking to her friend, she said she was talking to say a Quentin or whoever the person, but an actual person, but she was making up these conversations. It's just, oh no. I I've mentioned him on here before, but I have a younger brother who's schizophrenic and autistic, and it's not quite like this. Like, they still have friends. They still can have relationships. Like, he's got good friends. They used to get in fights in like middle school and shit for him. He didn't even go to that school anymore. Like, and his friends would get suspended because someone like made a comment about him.
No, and he might have like set
And they'd
patterns
budge
of
him.
behavior and stuff.
Another
but,
little
like,
autistic kid would. It's so cute. But like, they still have friends. They still can.
Well, yeah, because like a lot of the time, it's just like to do things in a certain way or a certain manner and quite precise in that way. It doesn't mean that they can't necessarily gel or have different relationships with people. But as she said herself, she was not only creepy, but I guess anybody she did like want to be friends with, she said she was a stalker. So I guess she didn't know how to make friends with people, and she would just weird them out before they would even be her friend.
She's able to identify it now too, that she did it, that it wasn't reality. So like, it
She's
makes
not
me
though,
wonder,
is she?
like,
Because this
what
video is made 2 years. She's not though, because this video is made 2 years prior to that Quinton episode. Now that Quinton thing is only a couple weeks
not
old.
on meds, hun.
That Quinton Reviews thing is only literally 2 weeks old. This is 2 years old.
True. Yeah, it makes me think too, Kate, it could be much of a front, you know, as well. It's just nutty.
Let's continue.
Doing other things. I don't 100% remember because it was so long ago. I do remember I used my real name in that fanfiction, as well as the boy in question's real name, or at least his real first name. And as I've said, I didn't have too many friends in elementary school. Sure, I had people I could talk to and be friendly with, but I knew that I could never tell anyone about what I believed, because A, I was eccentric enough to be into things that other fifth graders were not into, like a very obscure Japanese visual novel that ultimately ended up starting my weeaboo phase, and the aforementioned Duck Dodgers and Lunatics Unleashed. Though I did tell one person when I was at like camp who told her mom, who told my dad, who I lied to in order to get out of trouble. From what I said, I think I was talking about gaining self-awareness on who we really were and who we're meant to be as people. It was very cultish, thinking back on it. Like, oh, you've got to let a cartoon character in your head and they'll save you from this horrible, closed-off mind of yours. It was not a healthy mindset to be in. Yeah, it was a fucking mess, but I was still a good...
Did you want me to pause?
Oh, it's okay. It's just, they're indoctrinated so early. What'd she say, 14, 15? Through anime? Classic.
Yeah, but I think she was already like a fantasist. Like she'd already inserted herself into
She's already
her own
hearing
world.
things.
Like all children do to some degree, right? You know, and this is why, like, even if your child wasn't to have a playmate, like parents should get on the floor and play with their children. Like I'm a big believer in that. Like turn off the fucking TV and get on the floor and teach them how to use your imagination and create a whole little realm and things. You know, it's important to do that, but also to like make sure that they know when the game is ended. And also it's partly some of these parents like nowadays that let their kids just fucking do this shit full time. Like they don't take the Spider-Man costume off even though they're going to school. And it's like, well, no, there's a time and a place for this stuff. And that's what you should be telling your children. It's all well and good to have like your world and imagination and encourage that stuff. But you've also got to tell them that there's a time and a place for this stuff, that you can't be a fucking full-time fantasist. That's not squashing their fucking dreams or telling them and quelling their fucking imagination. Like, just because you're saying to them, no, not right now, darling, like, blah, blah, you take off the costume, you know, you can do that later. That doesn't make you a monster parent to, like, do that. Do you know what I mean? And people, I think, have forgotten that, and they just let their kids fucking willy-nilly parade around now like they're fucking, they can be this and be that and do all this, and it's like they literally are reinforcing all these fantasies in these kids, in this, and all the bubble pops. Like even like a lot of kids that want to be famous now, you know, and don't have actual aspirations or want vocations and things, and their parents are all too willing to fucking feed that fantasy, whether they've got the actual talent that goes behind it or not. And it's the same sort of shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're not doing your child like any favors. In fact, you're doing them a disservice to let them fucking feel like that they can do all this shit all the fucking time or whatnot. It's okay to dip your toe into the water of doing certain things, but it's okay to also parent your fucking child and tell them no sometimes as well, because this is what happens when you just leave them to fucking like be in their own little fucking realms and like, I don't know. She definitely, I don't think her parents were that involved with her, for sure. Because even if she had no friends to play with, I mean, what the fuck's wrong with her parents to just leave her in these, like, weird ostracized realms that they weren't even, like, involving her and stuff?
Weird psychosis. What's up, Tigro? What's up, McCall? I don't ever know if I know how to say that.
McCall? I always say McCall. I don't know either. We could both be wrong. Who knows?
It's Mickle.
Student, I was mostly straight A's, and I never particularly got into trouble. Once I discovered Kingdom Hearts, I considered myself the reincarnation of Naminé, then Xeon, then Larxene. But I never really extended on that world in my head until middle school happened.
That was
I had
before
a difficult time adjusting in middle school. I grew detached from my elementary school friends, the closest thing I had to friends, and having a shit ton of new responsibilities and homework to keep up with and classes just stressed me out. As a result, I made my first ever C on a progress report, and I would frequently miss assignments. I would
not a C.
I would just lie to my parents in order to try and get out of trouble from missing assignments.
Life isn't one big fucking fantasy.
Which they caught on to really, really quickly, obviously, because I was a shitty liar. And this caused somewhat of a downward spiral for me. As I've said in another video, I wasn't particularly popular in middle school because I looked different, I was taller, had a boyish figure, and, as I mentioned in this very video, stalked people that I admired. I ended up making a fantasy version of my life to cope with that.
I think it was the stalking bit
I was
that really
popular
threw a
with
spanner
tyranny
in
by
the
my
works.
side. And I had tons of friends, and I was on the way to becoming a successful YouTuber via my Kingdom Hearts music videos.
Oh god, successful YouTuber.
I clung on to that belief as tightly as possible, which got me branded the weird girl by most of the school. And yeah, I was a weird kid, but
well, I bet you were the weird
I was
girl.
so deep in my own mental state that I thought everyone else was weird, and that I was the only person who was fully awakened. There was one kid that...
She's the only one woke. The only one of y'all. None of y'all
You
know.
always know that you got a prime candidate when they're like, everybody else is the weirdo. I'm the only one.
It's definitely all of you. It definitely is. Oh no.
This is some next level shit, isn't it?
I just...
Now, if I was that Quinton Reviews guy, before hiring fucking somebody that you'd met off YouTube to come along and edit your fucking shit, maybe like if they've got a YouTube channel, go to their oldest videos and see what the fuck that they're about, because this shit was just sat there. You know? Maybe find out a little bit about someone that maybe they've got a fucking long history of stalking people and being a weird little creepy fantasist, you know, from being a young age. and they've left a trail of shit on YouTube for you to discover, but you didn't do that before you employed them. Oh well.
That I grew particularly fond of. Since he shares a name with someone I've already mentioned in this channel, we'll call him Gregory. Gregory will work. We'll call him Gregory. Gregory was in my grade. And he was, to be honest, kind of cute in middle school. He had that, like, I don't know what I saw in him. Why did I think he was cute? I have weird tastes, and I guess I still do. But he didn't go to elementary school with me. I met him in middle school, and in 6th and 7th grade, we were relatively friendly with each other. Not friends, but if we were, like, forced to, do a group project together, neither of us would complain. But soon enough,
the closest thing she had to a friend was someone that wouldn't object if they had to do a project together.
Oh, man. Fun fact, that's how I met my best friend, and I hated her before that. And then we were forced to work on a project. And now I've been stuck with her, like, I don't even know how many years later. Decades.
Is her name Princess Lysette?
No. It is not.
She's a fiction of your imagination.
And why is the name that they just picked?
You have no
Greg?
friends. You have no friends, fat boots. You know that.
Oh yeah. Forgot.
You imagined them all.
Yeah. No. My grandma bought them for me.
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. Like staff almost. Hired friends.
Staff. Yeah.
I grew, well, the closest you could have to feelings in middle school for him. And being a person with no sense of boundaries because I was wrapped in my own little world, I would just stare at him. I would just try and like stalk him on social media because I thought, oh my God, he's so cute. I want to get to know him more. And of course he picked up on that and was insanely creeped out by me. But I was so deep in my head at this time that I didn't even realize what I was doing was absolutely disturbing and something no one should ever do under any circumstance. And Gregory, if you happen to be watching this, which I doubt, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even though I was
stared at him
in my own little world, there was no excuse for my actions.
Poor Gregory.
And clinging to my beliefs sent me further down my delusions. To the point.
Yeah, Gregory turned into fucking Quinton though. This is the fucking problem. Do you see what I'm saying about, oh, sorry, Gregory, this is fucking like, what, how many years ago from elementary school? And this was made only 2 years ago. Yet here we are today with you fucking like DMing a fucking YouTube guy, you know,
Leave
over
the
and
man
over
on the
again,
internet alone.
thinking that your relationship or friendship was more than it was. All the signs were there, right? All the signs.
Point where I sincerely believed I was the reincarnation of a long-lost princess who was the somebody of Larkseen. I believe her name was Relena. I know that the canon name is Elrena, but whatever. This was before Kingdom Hearts 3 was released. Anyway, those beliefs alienated more people. And that ended up sending me deeper, which alienated more people, which sent me deeper. You get the picture. And there were people who wanted to hang out with me, probably out of pity. I'm not sure if it was out of sincerity or pity. I don't know. I don't care at this point. But all I know is that I rejected them because I was
remember every
too deep in
moment.
my head to realize that they wanted my friendship. That I thought they were trying to take advantage of me, like...
You were just a princess. It's okay.
Have you noticed that
we all
the
think that at one
trend is
time?
those that state that they don't care, not only do fucking care, but they remember every fucking minute detail about it still for someone that doesn't care.
Yeah.
We know people like that too.
Oh God, makeup details. Oh my God.
Well, you know.
I
And
had
just like
jokes about
harp
that
on
earlier,
about
but
the same thing again and again and again, a year and a half later still.
oh man.
Do you love her, Kate? Do you think you should set her up with Coves?
Extra large like
girls. There was a group of girls in 7th grade who wanted to hang out with me and were very relentless about it. We'll call them Tiona, Magda, Ellie, and Louise. Yeah, that'll work. Tiona, Magda, Ellie, and Louise were normal by my middle school standards. They wore skirts and toms. They had iPhones. Ignore that timer, that's for my laundry.
You have to show a phone.
And they all had accounts on a hot new trend in my school, Instagram. And all this happened almost 10 years ago, so misremembering is inevitable. Please bear with me. Tiona, Magda, and Ellie were the most relentless in trying to make me their friend. Staying with me at lunch against my wishes most of the time. Probably all of the time, but... and harassing me about some controversial things I said in 2012 that have since been erased from the internet. Like that one of the PE coaches at the time was a short, mean asshole. I rejected all of them except Louise because she was nicer to me. And I snubbed them despite my disinterest in them. I'm not sure whether they were genuine in their intentions or not at this point. Maybe they were. Maybe they did see some potential in me to become one of them. But one thing that makes me doubt that was that they genuinely believed a rumor about me that started at around the same time. You see, in the second half of 7th grade, people thought I had a crush on the popular class clown named Larry. Now, this started innocently enough as kind of a joke, and that we were an official couple, which we were not. Neither of us were particularly.
Right, so red flag, right? This already stinks of the incident that we've just gone through. Like there's some sort of mistake that she didn't really, but she clearly did. And here's the problem. She was the one that took it serious and yeah. And now she's still objecting all these years later. When it shouldn't even fucking matter whether you had a crush or didn't have a crush on the popular boy and you never had a fucking chance with him. And you can't take the humiliation of it. This is years old and it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? It's like she hasn't progressed. She's still the same girl in her own head, trapped forever.
Until some lucky soul comes along, she can stalk.
This is just...
oh no.
This is just like out here. I like just floating on her own fucking YouTube channel, and I'm surprised this hasn't been examined, considering the recent drama that she's been dragged into, you know, with that video that she made towards Quinton, with the whole editing fucking thing, and people making videos on it. It's only a matter of time before all this gets... maybe she end up kabooming all this and the old content, but we found it first.
Oh, it's nutty.
Particularly interested in each other, as far as I know. But it ended up warping into a full-fledged rumor that I had some kind of unrequited love for Larry and that I thought we were soulmates or something.
Save Larry.
I kept denying it because it was not true. But these people, Magda, Sienna, and Ellie included, continued to spread that rumor and thought, oh my god, she has a crush on Larry. She wants to date Larry. She loves him so much. And there was another trend at the time, Ask.fm, which no one uses anymore. This makes me old. And I remember making one because I thought it looked cool and I wanted cool kid questions, but then
what?
Everyone started asking about the rumor.
Kid questions?
Wait, why has she still got all these fucking saved? Think about that.
Because people like this like to relive their traumas. They are not mentally sane.
These are from
Save Larry. His name is really Larry. Poor Larry.
These are from the old cell phone that she had when she was in middle school. Think about that.
Oh my god. I am so lucky I didn't have a smartphone till well into college. Hot damn.
Oh, imagine saving that though.
Oh
and
my
still having it
god.
to your adult days and like now putting it on the internet. I mean, the good thing is, not being out, having a fucking cell phone when you was that age, right, is that there's no track record of it. But this bitch escaped it, and now she's outing herself years later.
For our enjoyment, and for that, we appreciate this crazy bitch. But I mean, yeah, that's nutty. So nutty. Oh my god.
Meanwhile, the world in my head grew and grew. As I grew more and more detached from reality, I began to believe in something quite similar to Sonichu Girls' world, where there were multiple dimensions, one where all the fictional characters were, and that I was one of the few who could travel between dimensions. And
oh no,
she's
dimension hopping.
Scary. On us. At around this time, my phone and computer privileges were revoked for all of the lying about schoolwork I did, so I didn't have much of a creative output except for the journals and art and limited other things. But when you're alone in your thoughts like that and you don't have anywhere else to turn to, you start to push yourself more and more into your fantasies, and that's exactly what I did. I remember at around springtime in the journal, I brought in a character that was basically the Martian Queen, but an actual human being who I claimed I went to school with, because that journal in question was towards another person that I had kind of an obsession with, but we'll get to that person another day.
Yeah, we see a pattern.
And I guess I found that as the only way to justify to him that I had an imaginary friend, because I couldn't find a way to explain my hallucinations to anyone else. And I was more of a violent person at the time too. I remember legitimately attempting to pin someone down on the ground when they tried to lead the class into singing Happy Birthday for me 2 days after my 13th birthday. But I never liked the birthday song, nor do I ever like being sung to, especially if it's the birthday song. But I would not physically
be my friend. So the people try to launch into Happy Birthday song and they get fucking beat down by her.
Literal WWE SmackDown.
SmackDown
for the birthday song.
And then they're like, oh, we feel sorry for her. She's never got any friends. Oh, it's her birthday. Let's be nice. Let's sing Happy Birthday. Happy fucking hell. Knocks the fucking teeth out and they're on the floor before you know it. It's the last time they'll be friendly towards her. Fuck. Imagine.
never lived in other dimensions. Me either.
She knocked them into another fucking dimension with a punch.
She knocked herself into other. Could you imagine this bitch? She's walking around and she's jumping dimensions, you guys.
Be my friend.
Not her, it's us. Clearly.
I'll knock you into the next dimension. Just don't sing to me.
Yeah, no, this is all new stuff.
Imagine finding out that someone goes fucking seriously violent on you when they're sung to, and the first time that you find that out is when you sing them happy birthday. Just imagine that from the other person's perspective.
I mean, oh man.
There you go.
Yeah, she must be some sort of something. The delusional.
In fact, someone who sang to me this day and age. I can't remember any other time where I was intentionally violent, but I did threaten to hurt people. And yeah, I probably should have seen a psychologist at this point, but I was so deep in my head that I didn't even know how to cry for help. In fact, I probably would have been lost forever in this world were it not for.
Maybe fighting people might be a crime.
Despite my continuous roasting of Aaron in this channel, my first relationship by dating Aaron snapped me back to reality. And recently, I realized why. Not because I loved him, but because he was one of the few people to have treated me with decency, that I talked to regularly. When I started to date Aaron, I didn't have a need for a fantasy world anymore. I had friends and a boyfriend, and that regrounded me. I had people to lie back on, real people, and Aaron was the anchor that pulled me back to the real world. And
yay for Aaron.
I guess I'll be forever grateful for that. And the Larry rumors died because of the dating, too, as there was physical proof that I was in a relationship with Aaron, that I could show people. They couldn't believe that I actually was able to get a boyfriend, but there was proof. So there was nothing they could do to, dispute it. And the bullying and other rumors about me decreased, but never truly went away until I went to high school. But when high school started, I soon drifted away from my middle school memories and made new friends and reconnected with older friends, and my delusions and hallucinations died with that. And sure, I relapse occasionally, mostly when I'm under severe psychological stress, but as of now, I consider myself pretty healthy mentally. And looking back,
so in other words,
I wouldn't.
Untreated, unmedicated, and just hanging in the breeze, right? Ready to fucking fire off at the next person when you become unstable.
Oh boy.
Right.
I think the treatment I got in middle school was what caused the peak of my mental instability. Thanks to that feedback loop that pushed me further down the rabbit hole. Sure, in 5th grade, I wasn't too well to begin with, but a new environment made everything worse. Just, I'm glad I was able to get out of there before there was any long-term damage.
So a lot of people, when they are feeling mentally stable, if they suffer with whether it be bipolar or psychosis and things like that, where there's some sort of one end of the spectrum to the other, when they're at the most stable or whatnot, and they feel fixed almost, like they feel like those times are way behind them, that they're almost a distant memory, that they're and then they start giving it rhymes and reasons. Oh, well, that was because of that reason, or it's because of that. And then and a lot of them will say, even when they was seeking help, whether it be therapy or they was on medication, they then blame that for that being the problem. And now that because they're not in deep psychosis and they're not medicated and things, that they feel okay again because they're out of that fog, because they're not subdued by any drugs or whatnot. And they can stabilize like that for a while, but it's pretty inevitable that, you know, untreated and whatnot, it's only a matter of time before you go back into psychosis.
Oh man, and you're spending 7 hours a day
I know
editing
enough about
iCarly
mental
videos.
health. The reason why I know so much about mental health is because my mother worked in like a career like with mental health, so, you know, and I learned a lot by proxy because of her, I guess, in that sense. Like, you end up learning a bit about it, end up listening to people about their work as you do, right? And yeah, that it's almost guaranteed that will happen. And she told me many occasions where people would feel like a false sense of security, that they're like, and periods of time that when they were medicated, it didn't help them. And if anything, it exacerbated the problem, you know? It just sounds like, yeah, this is only a matter of time. This video was made 2 years ago, and then this situation that's going on now with the whole stalking of Quinton Reviews and like contacting him, telling how much she likes him, feeling that the relationship was not like a two-way thing, and all of these strange behaviors from her. Yeah. Anybody should be careful getting involved with her, that's for sure. She's like a loose cannon, it seems.
Yeah.
Is that it?
It's up moodily.
Is it at the wrong time? Is that the end? I think it is.
Does it just play out?
She got credits at the end, yeah.
Wow, much art.
So there you go. There's Flower Gothic for you. That's and that's I'm sure there's other stuff that we can cover of hers. She's an interesting character anyway.
Yeah, that was really something. I want to learn more about that, like, Quinton drama.
Yeah, well, it's still all happening. Like, that's fresh and still being discussed. And I guess she's made that video, and depends if she does or says anything else from that point, you know. She doesn't seem the sort to let things go easily, so I reckon there will probably be more from that.
Yeah, multiverse and planetary trip. We met a Martian princess. We met like 12 cockroaches at least. I just wow, that was a lot of different kinds of milk.
We thought we'd mix it up for you, you know. We thought we'd bring you some fresh milk. It's our little 3-month anniversary of streaming. We've been doing this now. We was like, let's you know, mix it up a little bit.
What does that mean? What do you mean? I don't know if I want to know.
Don't, because when she started talking about dimensions, I was like, oh, she's going full peanut.
Not the other dimensions. Jeez.
I think Raven's streaming soon, if she's not already, that is. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Y'all head over to Raven. Let me see. I can grab her.
It's been a pleasure, everyone. Thanks for sticking around with us. We're going to probably head over to Ravens as well. But we'll play you out with some music if you want to cue it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Let me grab it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming. See y'all in the next one.
Ravens. Yeah, bye.
Everybody wants to be say